Notre Dame has won the toss, but they have deferred to the second half. So the Pitt Panthers will be receiving the kick. As you look at Craig Hentrick, he is a sophomore from Godfrey, Illinois, 6'1", 197 pounds, and an absolutely gorgeous evening for football. 50 degrees, cloudy and breezy, but the wind not really a factor. As you look at Steve Israel, one of the dual safeties, and Ricky Turner is to his left. Hendrick's kick will come to Turner at the 3. Tackled at the 18-yard line. And now for tonight's die-hard starting lineups. At quarterback, Alex Van Pelt, the sophomore from San Antonio. Behind him, Kevin Williams, a freshman from Galveston, and Glenn DeVoe. Olanda Truitt, he is the big receiver with Darnell Dickerson, the wide receivers. The tight end is Eric Seaman. Sestilli is the center. The guards, Gorjuski and Jeff Christie. And the tackles, Mike Laborio and Scott Miller. Van Pelt going to air it out on first down and throws it in and out of the hands of Darnell Dickerson. Here are the starters for Notre Dame on defense. Chris Zorich, All-American at nose guard. George Williams and Bob Dahl, the defensive tackles. Stonebreaker and Don Grimm, the inside backers. At the outside, Devon McDonald and Scott Kowakowski. In the secondary, it's Todd Light and Greg Lane. And the safeties, Greg Davis and Tom Carter. Play action and the quick out pass. This was complete to Dickerson, and he will take it out over the 27-yard line. Gary is surprised at the way Pitt has come out to open the ball game.
No, not at all, Ron. We talked to Paul Hackett yesterday, and he said that he wanted to get into an attack mode with his offense earlier. You know, you kind of kidded with this. It's harder to attack being the head coach than the offensive coordinator. But he came right out throwing. He wanted to get that play-action pass game that Alex is so good at. And a little bit of a bad throw there, but they're on target now with 3rd and short.
For Alex this year, 120 of 209. For 1,500 yards, just over. On the play action, throws it incomplete. Truitt, the intended receiver, at the 41. So that brings up a punting situation for Pitt. And as you look at 25, Brian Greenfield, he leads the nation in punting with an average of 47.9, his longest 79. And of course, we all know what this gentleman can do. The Rocket Man, Rahib Ismail. Greenfield is a left footer, which makes it even tougher, Gary.
Well, this is what we're all here for, to see Rocket catch the ball and run a little bit. And we'll see how this Pitt team, their special teams are important all week.
Pressure right up the middle, booming spiral. Ismail signals for the fair catch and then runs away from it as one of the Pitt players was within a couple of yards of him. And he elected not to go with it. 47 yards in the punt, nothing on the return. Rick Meyer will start at quarterback. He'll have Rodney Culver and Tony Brooks as his running backs. Ismail and Tony Smith, the wide receivers. The tight end, Derek Brown, is a huge one at 6'7". Mike Helt is the center. The guards, Tim Ryan and Jerkovic. And the tackles, McGuire and Justin Hall. Running play right up the middle, good for 10 yards for Tony Brooks, the senior from Tulsa. And now let's look at the Pittsburgh defense. Prentice Wright making the stop. Derek Hicks is the nose tackle. The defensive ends are Hamilton and Gunn. The inside linebackers, Craig Cobb and Prentice Wright, who just made the stop. Heath Snell and Ricardo McDonald. Then in the secondary, it's Washington and Coleman at the corners, and the safeties, Louis Riddick and Doug Hetzler. Brooks again breaks it to the outside. We'll have 4, now 5, and again it's number 7, Prentice Wright for the Pitt Panthers. Gary, you know, Notre Dame not making any secret. Pitt comes out throwing. Notre Dame's going to keep it on the ground.
When Notre Dame runs the ball, it just opens up their whole offense. And if Pitt wants to stop the run, Notre Dame is going to look for them to commit that extra player, the strong safety or the corner on the blitz to try to stop it with 8 men. Notre Dame, if they can successfully run the ball up the middle, it's going to be a long night for Pitt.
Pollard comes in a tight end for the Irish. Trip set to the left, spread him out, and the running play goes with Culver, and that's Ricardo McDonald, who has the twin brother who plays for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, stepping up to make the stop.
Pitt gambles a little bit right here to stop the running game. You can see they've got more people committed, and they've done a little stunt here, and that confuses the blocking. They run the draw play. They did play man-to-man defense, though, Ron, in the secondary, and that's what they're going to have to match up when they have the Ishmael out there. Can they play man-to-man if they're going to stop the running game with a lot of people?
Pressure, he is sacked at the 36. Keith Hamilton. That is the 8.5 sack for Hamilton this year. It's a loss of 8. And now it is punting time for Notre Dame. And you know, we talked about the special team prowess of the Irish. Do not sell the Pitt Panthers short. They too one of the better special teams in the country.
Of course, they emphasized it all week, knowing how good Notre Dame was at it, but they do it every week, and they feel they match up well.
Hetzler is the deep man for the Panthers. Hendrick, who does the field goal and kicking off, has the ball partially blocked. And now a marker comes down as Hetzler will return it from the 15 and run out of bounds. And Hendrick is injured on the play. And Gary, what will be interesting to see is if he got a piece of the ball, then there is no roughing the kicker. 51 yards in the kick and 14 on the return.
Well, Ron, if he didn't get a piece of the ball, that's the only thing he didn't get a piece of.
That's
because
for sure.
He was right there. It's going to be interesting if they're going to get an automatic first down on this, because it was more than 5 yards. Vernon Lewis, number 42, watch this. He's the man we isolated on. He's the kick blocker. Obvious, a mistake right there, and he gets a free run on it. He lays out. Oh, he misjudged that, Ron. He absolutely misjudged that.
He was there, but he missed the football.
He did not go for the kick point. You have to get out in front of that punter to block the ball, and he did not lay out for that foot. And that is going to be a first down. Vernon Lewis was there for the block, and it's those little things over and over again that just come up and bite you. You know, the coach was there. They drew it up right. He came in, great effort, but just a little mistake mentally, cost him here. Comes in at the wrong angle. He should be coming out in front of him more, and he dives and just doesn't anticipate where that punt point is going to be.
Literally a case of overrunning it.
Well, at the wrong angle, right. He was there, right.
Those are the kind of mistakes that have plagued Pitt. Now movement by Notre Dame, as you see the Pitt defense pointing, then contact is made. Jerkovit, I believe, came out of his stance a little bit quick.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
That's Hendrick on the far side, and of course Lou Holtz came out to personally take a look along with the trainers, and the reason is he does have backup people, but Hendrick is his place kicker and his punter.
Of course, he had the 5 field goals last week, and he'd be a big loss for him.
First down and 15 for the Irish. Quick looking pass, tipped, and it is intercepted by Wright. He may score. Myrer knocks him out of bounds at the 20-yard line. There is a flag back at the 37. Tony Brooks never turned around for the ball in the quick look in.
Personal foul. Blocking below the waist on a run back.
You will see Tony Brooks. They've run a split formation here trying to spread out the Pitt defense. Meyer reads it. Brooks does not realize he's uncovered. Meyer hits him on the run. There was nobody covered over Brooks, and of course the ball bounces to the right, and he's got a free run for the end zone, and Meyer makes the nice tackle here. He's in for 7 points. Of course, they had blocking below the race on the replay. Meyer does it. He pops up and he hits him. No one is covering Brooks on the formation. He could have caught the ball and picked up 5, 6, 7 yards. You know, sometimes when you put those guys Brooks, those running backs out wide from the formation. They get lost out there. They're like a fish out of water, and he just did not realize that the ball was going to come to him that quick.
Prentice Wright with his second interception of the 1990 season. Kevin Williams bangs it at left guard, bounces off the tackle, and then Don Grimm will knock him down. Kevin is only a freshman from Galveston Bald High School, 36 carries for 174 yards. Very quick, but he is not real big at 175.
Right, redshirt freshman. He has their longest gain of the year, though. They like him the way he runs the ball, but they've got to keep him fresh and using him a lot on and off the field, not just pounding up in there all night.
Glenn DeVoe is coming replacing him as the lone setback. And Pelt, look in, complete. Dickerson, or check it, Chris Boyer, number 18, inside the 35 to the 34. And that is enough for the Pitt first down.
Paul Hackett likes to call the plays by shuttling people in the game. Another penalty.
Motion on the offense.
Motion against the offense. So Pitt now has stopped Notre Dame, then roughed the kicker. They do come back and get a reprieve with the interception, but here they pick up a 13 yards and a first down, and it's erased.
And also on the run back, they're down there on the 20-yard line if they don't get the run back penalty. Pitt, as I was saying, likes to shuttle in the plays with receivers because they're changing their formations constantly. One time it's 3 tight ends, then 1 tight end, then 3 wide receivers, then 2 backs, then 3 tight ends again. Constantly trying to keep Notre Dame off balance with substitutions.
Draw play to Williams, and he is going to be gang tackled as he just about reaches the 50-yard line. Mike Stonebreaker, the senior from River Ridge, Louisiana, leading the way, number 42. We saw his dad yesterday in the lobby of the hotel up to see his youngster play.
Stonebreaker's the leading tackler for Notre Dame this year. Of course, he's a Butkus candidate, back from a year off.
He not only leads them in tackles, but in interceptions.
And Notre Dame linebackers are known for that. They drop so well, and they get in trouble because their secondary is playing deep and trying to play everything in front of them. The linebackers have to be involved.
Play action. The screen, that's Turner. Gets by one Notre Dame defender, Grimm, and he spun off him right into the arms of Stonebreaker. It's going to be 4th down, and for Pitt, Paul Hackett here with a 4th down and 2, and Gary, in Notre Dame territory. Do you go for it?
Well, he said he wanted to be in attack mode all night tonight, and we'll see how serious he is about it. You know, it's out towards midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to draw him off sides or something like that, because if you punt from the 44 or the 49, it's not a big deal. Let's see if they try to get a cheap first down by drawing him offside.
Well, one thing, they're going to have to hurry because the 25-second clock is already down to 6, now 5. Van Pelt. Pass is tipped, and that's Grimm, who knocked it down, and the Irish will take it over at their own 44. So there's a break in the action. 9:16 left in this opening quarter. 25 shutouts is incredible. Tony Brooks tripped up as he crosses the 45. Mark Gunn, a senior from Cleveland, Ohio, is there to knock him down. Big number 90.
One of the key matchups in this game, Ron, is how Pitt matches up the middle. They're a little bit undersized there. There you see it. Their nose guard, 215 pounds, you know, matched up against Mike Hill, the starting center, who's almost 270 pounds.
Brooks hit in the backfield, and he's going to be knocked down by Keith Hamilton. Will not get back to the line of scrimmage, and now the Irish, Gary, will scrimmage with a 3rd down and 8 situation.
When we talked to Fred Von Aven, the defensive coordinator for Pitt, he said very seldom on film do you see Notre Dame in a situation when he can use his nickel defense. He's got an opportunity right now, and this is what he wants to do, is put some pressure on him with the nickel guys, covering a little bit, and putting some pressure on him with the big rush.
For the Irish, they need the 46 of Pitt. McDonald with the pressure. Ball is incomplete. Ricardo McDonald was coming from the right side. Forced Myrer to throw it long before he wanted to. And Pitt's defense on the first two series looks very good.
Very aggressive, too. They're really challenging.
Jimmy Sexton, who was a senior, number 16, will come in to kick. He has an average of 33.3. So Hendrick obviously was shaken up a little bit more than we thought. Movement at the line of scrimmage, and I think the Irish will be guilty of procedure here, coming up out of the stance before the ball was snapped.
Well, you can see that Pitt defense just shuttling around and moving around and gets them a little bit confused.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense.
You get one of those punts blocked, that's all you do is you hear about it for the next 2-3 games. So they're on the sideline. They just had the coach drawing up all kind of X's and O's, and these guys said, uh-oh, let's get those splits a little tighter. Let's make sure we do it right.
Hetzler, the deep man for the Panthers. Well, they're jumping all over the place. Fair catch is called for and made at the 17-yard line as Hetzler went over the shoulder with that one. Let's go to Jerry Punch for a report.
Well, gentlemen, sophomore punter Craig Hendrick didn't injure his legs or anything below the waist. Actually, what he hurt was his left thumb. He has a sprain of the left thumb. Now, Dr. Will Yerk of the team orthopedist has bandaged it up. They're concerned about him being able to catch the ball. They don't want a turnover deep in their territory, so they kept him out for that punt and let the backup punter go in. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Jerry.
Well, he should be able to field goal kick then at least. He doesn't have to catch him on the ball.
Well, Lou hopes not. No score with just under 8 minutes to play in this opening quarter. DeVoe hit at the line of scrimmage, and he will not make it back as George Williams is the man who comes across and makes the tackle. DeVoe subbing for the injured Ronald Redmond. An Achilles heel has been the problem for Redmond off and on for the entire season, and last week re-injured it. Boy, they miss him desperately because he not only is a good running back, Redmond, but a great receiver.
Third leading receiver on the team with 12 catches, so they're going to miss him in this offense.
Alex Van Pelt on the 2nd and 10. Ball is fumbled, and Notre Dame has recovered at the 16.
You want to know how to be an All-American? Watch Chris Zorich play football. There he is, a nose tackle, little swim move, arm over and around. He's in the backfield. He gets there almost before the ball gets at the handoff point, causes the fumble. That's a caused fumble by an All-American football player. Here it is from a little bit different angle. He's in the backfield and he's swinging those arms. Boy, he's just all enthusiasm. Tough guy to block, not your standard nose guard.
McDonald made the recovery. It was his brother, Ricardo McDonald, who forced the quick pass a moment ago. So the McDonalds making it happen early on tonight for their team. Straight ahead with the quick handoff is Culver, and the big fullback rambles inside the 10, and he is down to the Pitt 9-yard line.
Well, he just gets ahead of steam so quick. He's like 2 steps, he's going full speed. That Culver just...
Prentice Wright helping on the tackle and also is shaken up on the play.
Somebody tells Zorich it's a night game in Pittsburgh tonight when he's got that half-cut jersey on.
Well, it's 50 degrees at game time. Supposed to go down into the low 40s tonight.
Kid who just loves playing football. You know, every time you see him, he got a smile on his face. Nominee for the Lombardi of Outland. And I believe he's got a great shot. He is just, when you watch film of this Notre Dame team, you just see him pop it up everywhere.
I mean, not only is one of the physical leaders, he is definitely, as Coach Holt says, one of the spiritual leaders. Well, ESPN starts your college football Saturday each week with College Game Day. It's Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Charlene Hawks at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And here's the lineup next week. Indiana and Michigan State in the Big Ten at 12:30 Eastern Time. Then Colorado and Nebraska, number 10 and number 4. And next week, Gary and I will be in Gainesville, Florida. Auburn and Florida, number 2 against number 14. Brooks, left side behind great blocking from McGuire and Ryan. And he is inside the 5, and Mark Gunn is there to make the stop for the Panthers.
This has got to be so disappointing for the Pitt team. You know, they had a couple great opportunities on the interception, and they right down there, and they get the ball back and almost get a block punt, and now their backs against the wall right here, 3-yard line, and Notre Dame looks like they could draw first blood.
15 scores and 16 possessions on goal to go. But it is first and goal for the Irish. Straight up the middle, couple of yards, and then Culver gets blasted. Being pushed back to the 4. They'll give him forward progress. It's Ricardo McDonald, number 48, who made the hit.
Little trap play on the goal line right here. Tim Ryan, the left guard, number 52, is going to run a real quick, short trap, and Culver just hits it. The important thing right here is to hit it running, trust the trap block, trust your offensive line. Of course, when you run behind that Notre Dame line, it's easy to trust it. They have pretty good success.
Second down for the Irish. Brooks will score. That's the second touchdown for Tony Brooks this year, a senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hendrick back in the ball game. Brooks now 6 carries, 25 yards. Knocks it home, and Gary, he is 23 of 23 in the season. 7-0 Notre Dame with 5:53 left to play in this opening quarter. And Gary, the difference between a 3-3-1 team as Pitt has played this year and 5-1 in Notre Dame. Notre Dame got a break and they capitalized immediately.
Yeah, we alluded to it a minute ago. You're right, Ron. When you get those, you work so hard for those turnovers, and then you don't cash in, it really hurts your morale.
Hendrick's kick is going to come down to Israel, 6 yards deep, and Steve will not bring it up. 4 plays, 16 yards following the fumble recovered by McDonald. Only needed a minute and 21 seconds, and Tony Brooks with his second touchdown of the season. By the way, a mention as we were giving you the starting lineups tonight, and if you follow the Irish on a regular basis, you might be wondering why both Devon McDonald and Kowakowski are starting at linebacker. Andre Jones, because of that bruised thigh, not able to play in this one this evening. Van Pelt sets deep in the pocket. That's Turner swinging him out of the backfield, and he'll have a gain of close to 5. Turner is not only a tailback, they have been using him at wide receiver, but they've had to bring him back in because of the injury to so many running backs.
Because Curvin was down so long, they had to get him involved, and as much as they throw the ball, it's going to be a plus for him being able to come out of that backfield and catch the ball out of the backfield. You know, Coach Hackett has said, even if they drop behind, they got to keep plugging away the whole game. 7-0, don't worry about it. Just keep thinking forward and keep trying to move the chains.
DeVoe and Turner lined up in the backfield this time. Van Pelt throwing the screen back to the left side. Turner again will have the first down, plus about 4. Bob Dahl, the senior from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland, is there to make the stop, and it's a gain of 10.
Van Pelt drops back right here, but he knows he's going to Turner all the way. It's a delay play. Look, he looks off, and he just dumps it to the tailback out in the flat. Nice call. It's like a running play, like a long handoff, you know, just a way to get the ball into someone's hands outside the tackles.
Lance Markle has come in at running back for Pitt. Number 40. Pressure coming. Pass is incomplete. Truitt is the man they wanted, but Greg Lane, the right corner, was coming on a corner blitz, and you can see Alex Van Pelt is very slow in getting up.
From the right side of your screen, you're going to see the corner blitz coming. This is hard to pick up. It should be somebody's responsibility to block the linebacker or whoever comes. Van Pelt is very fortunate to get this ball off. Those are the kind, if you hold it just 1 second longer, it's a fumble type play. Here he gets it, but he gets a good one on the ribs right here, too.
Also, that is kind of uncharacteristic of Notre Dame, isn't it?
Even though they ran the quarter blitz, though, Ron, they still maintained a zone defense. They really didn't gamble as much. They were on the short hash when they did it.
Running play to the 35 is Kevin Williams. You got to look just a moment ago at Gary Darnell. the new defensive coordinator for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You remember, Gary, we talked about him last year when we were down in Gainesville, Florida. He was the interim head coach for the Florida Gators for the final part of the season.
Well, it's been a few weeks. Coach Holtz has got back involved in the defense. He's been around and got involved where he figures there's a problem area, but Coach Darnell's a good football coach, and I'm sure he's got his guys focused tonight.
On third down, delivers, complete, and let's see where they're going to give him forward prior. That is not a good spot. He caught the ball in first down territory. That's what the crowd is booing about. I think that you will see, Paul Hackett can't believe it. Lane made the stop, but Darnell Dickerson was real close to the 44-yard line on a comeback.
This is a situation where you can't give the referee the opportunity to make a call like this. You got to go just a couple yards deeper, because if you cut it that fine, you know, you got to give the referee the opinion to where to mark the ball. And you're coming back, and he just didn't get a good mark on it, and you put him in that limbo zone where the call gets you, and you're forced to punt the ball now. It's one of those situations. You pass block, you throw it well, you catch it well, you run a good route, but just not deep enough. Those little things. I mean, we've seen it all night so far. That's the difference of being 3-3-1 and having a record like 6-1. 6-2.
Brian Greenfield will be punting to this man, Raheem Ismail, and the Rocket has dropped back to the 15-yard line. 7-0. If you just joined us, Notre Dame on top with 4:23 left to play. Opening quarter. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Celebration throughout the year for them as they celebrate their first century of collegiate football here. Oh, he rides this one. Ismail runs away from it. That is going to hit at the 2-yard line on the air. 58 yards from scrimmage. By high schools across the country, and it is being used in high school competition in some areas. Ismail at tailback. First time that he's touched the ball tonight. Tries to sweep the corner. Will have a couple, but Louis Riddick said, nope, that's the end of the way, Rocket. Not going to let you get far off the pad.
Well, offensive coordinator Pete Cardelli told us they're going to try to get the ball in Ismail's hands about 20 to 25 times tonight in whatever way they can, and they'll put him wherever they have to do it. And the Rocket, when he gets his hands on the ball, he develops a crowd around him really quick. I mean, that's about as electrified as the crowd has got all night. The stands, too. They want to see the Rocket carry the ball.
Give it to him again, and the draw play, and he will lose 3 yards. Knocked down at the 20 by Mark Gunn. That one was done before it got started. And now it's going to be third down for the Irish, and they need 10.
This is Pitt's version of the attack defense right here. It's a form of the 46, the bear look. Everybody's coming for the quarterback. They're playing man-to-man in the coverage, and they're trying to disrupt things in the backfield. They feel that's their best opportunity to attack on defense and give Notre Dame some different looks.
Well, these are the down, and as a flag comes down, nothing wrong with the 25-second clock that we could see. But, Gary, what I was going to say to you is...
Dead ball foul. Encroachment foul on the offense. Offense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
These are the down and distance situations that Pitt wanted to have Notre Dame in tonight.
Well, they'd like to have any team in, but what you don't find is Notre Dame in this situation very often. When you look on film, you just see a bunch of second and mediums and third and shorts. And this is really a bonus for the Pitt defense to be able to play in this type of situation. You know, besides the turnover, they've done a good job. Fred Von Aven, their defensive coordinator, said he'd love to have some of those opportunities to get his defensive nickel on the field.
Myra gets it away, tipped and incomplete. Vernon Lewis, a sophomore out of Houston, Texas, is the man who planed out. And again, it was Ricardo McDonald who was pressuring the passer. But too much pressure, and the signal is roughing the passer against Pittsburgh. It's going to be on Keith Hamilton.
From the left side, Keith Hamilton's going to come in there, and he didn't need to do that. The ball's gone. He just gives him that little extra shove. And that can cost you, you know. Now they're back first down when they had an opportunity to get the ball on the 50-yard line.
Boy, Pitt has been aiming at their big toe, and they've been hitting it.
Just no need for it. He had him out of bounds, shoved him, hit him with the head a little bit. And now they got to play defense again, first down, when they had him 3rd and long, real low.
The last time this happened to Pitt was very early on in the first quarter, and they did come up with an interception. That's 4 penalties against the Panthers for 50 yards already, and we still have 3:17 to play opening quarter.
Pitt's not good enough to play football like this against this Notre Dame defense.
You're playing good defense.
Yes.
Flag comes down. It was going to be the wraparound draw. Ball was fumbled, and Notre Dame has recovered it at the 35-yard line. Meyer is right there to make the recovery.
It's getting a little contagious out there, all these penalties right now. One team is penalized, and the other guy just follows the lead.
Gary, the wraparound draw that they were about to run was something that they ran very well against Miami, but I think that's when they pulled it out of the closet, wasn't it?
It's a staple for their offense now because they sprint out so much, and they have to have a play off that sprint out action. And this is the one that Coach Holt has settled in on now, and they had great success, you're right, against Miami.
So following the penalty, it is first down and 10.
I'm confused.
I am too. It should be 2nd and 10, and now the officials, they pointed toward Notre Dame, but they had penalized Pitt.
Yeah, I think they're off by 5 yards. It's just 5 yards.
Well, now that's what they're pointing at. Well, the locals are not happy with the officials anyway.
You know, motion penalty declined. Pittsburgh elected to take the loss. It's still 2nd down now. 2nd down now.
Okay.
You know, as a quarterback, you see that ball spotted up there, you run your team up there to get the ball snapped as fast as you can.
Dorsey Levens, who's a sophomore, comes in to tailback for Notre Dame. He wears number 4. Meyer's going to sprint this one out, lobs the pass, and it is caught by the Rocket, but out of bounds. Ismail caught the ball, but just a step too far.
One of the things Lou Holtz likes to do is get the quarterback out of the pocket. Meyer's going to sprint out, and he's going to throw it to this man right here. Look at that guy. That corner's way back. He's almost in the end zone, turns him completely around, but the ball is late. And boy, Rocket almost got that foot down to get a nice big gain there, but Meyer a little late on the throw.
Ismail, 17 carries for over 300 yards and 32 receptions for 289. Besides what he does on the special teams. Meyer going to go long, and double coverage. Ball is not there. Pollard was the intended receiver. You can see Israel, number 11, and now the defense getting a standing ovations. The crowd waited to see if there was any laundry on the team.
Yeah, right. Well, they've stopped them every time except for the quick turnover on their own 16-yard line. They're playing really good attack defense. They're gambling a little bit, though, in the secondary round, playing man-to-man coverage back there. If they can hold up, they'll do a good job.
First punt for Jimmy tonight. He's a senior from right there in South Bend. That one off for 42 yards. That one is off the side of his foot and out of bounds just across midfield. And let's go to Tim Brando for an update.
Ron, here's an up.
Dye figures out a way to win them no matter what side of the 2-point thing.
And that's all that really counts.
That's right.
Van Pelt zips it, Truitt near sideline, just a tad overthrown. You can see Todd Light, number 1, coming into the picture, but the minute he saw that Orlando Truitt couldn't hold on, didn't hit him.
There you see Alex with a year, 8 intercepts, 10 TDs.
That 8 intercepts is the thing that probably surprises me most. Is he's 5 of 10 tonight for only 36 yards. But accuracy has been a thing that has been big for him.
Right, and I think that reflects back to missing Kirvin Richards. He's put more pressure on him during the passing game, and he just is more pressure causes more mistakes.
Short drop this time, has it complete to Dickerson. Ball is loose at the 50-yard line, and Pitt has recovered. I think Sistelli. the center got over to make the recovery. Big sophomore from Fairview Park, Ohio.
Dickinson, of course, who played quarterback a year ago against Notre Dame when he had that big fumble. And this one kind of reminds me of the play. He's got it almost finished, and boop, there it pops up. And Pitt's very fortunate to get that ball back in that situation.
You could see Grim, if you could have seen from reverse angle, his eyes got huge. He said, a Christmas present. This thing's coming right into my arms. Third down, 5.5. And Pitt has not converted on a third down situation tonight. Blitz coming up the middle by Notre Dame. Wide open is Dickerson. Has the first down and 5 more.
Well, that was a bust by the Notre Dame defense. They did blitz up the middle. They brought enough people where you were forced to play man coverage. And a nice job by Alex Van Pelt there, finding a guy, a safe guy to throw and pick up the first down. The guy is really cool in the pocket. Dickerson with 4 catches already for 33 yards. Very, very unflappable type quarterback back there. You know, as a sophomore being named captain of a football team, first time in Pitt history.
You know, at a school, that's a great point you make. 100 years of tradition here, but a sophomore has never been named as a captain. Dickerson to the other side. Gets behind the block from Turner, and he'll have another first down at the Notre Dame 25. Davis and Carter there defensively.
You'll see the multiple formations here. All 3 wideouts to the outside. And look how the number 47, I think it's number 42, the linebacker, Steve Stonebreaker, is out there. Mike Stonebreaker's dad's name, Steve Stonebreaker, is out there, and they're removing him from the formation by doing that with the split-out formations.
Turner comes out of the ball game, so it'll be Kevin Williams and Lance Markle in the backfield for Pitt. Kevin Williams caught by an ankle. That's Chris Zorich. Got him moved a little bit, but not enough. He just reached out and grabbed an ankle.
He's just so tough to block. He's just on the move all the time. He's not protecting linebackers. He's trying to make tackles. Another swing move. Guy tries to hold him right there, but he still gets in for the tackle. He just changes direction so fast. Just a tough guy to block.
You go on a practice field and you see the defensive lineman practicing that swim move, because that's exactly what it's like. It's like a stroke, a freestyle, and boy, he put it to great use there. Flag comes down. Van Pelt's pass incomplete at the 22. That one was thrown by the umpire, and that's going to be offensive holding against the Panthers.
Holding. Offense.
Bill Myers is the offensive line coach and also offensive coordinator. Actually, they kind of do it by committee here as well, because it comes through Coach Hackett. But he was not real happy when he saw that preliminary signal.
You know, sometimes you can make plays by not making a tackle. The play before, Chris Zorich makes the tackle with a swim move, and this time he forces the hold by Chris Ciselli, the center. Watch, he doesn't want to lose him, so he just latches on real quick, and boy, that's just like begging for a holding penalty because someone's looking right there every time. The umpire makes the call.
So here's the situation. Irish lead it by 7-0. 31 seconds left in this opening quarter, and the new line of scrimmage for Pitt is back at the Notre Dame 36. To pick up the first down, they've got to go to the 15. Deep drop. Ball is tipped and still caught by Moore, and he'll take it inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. So Pitt will be dealing with a third down and about 12 yards.
Notre Dame played the deep zone that time, but I think it kind of played into Alex's plans where he just wanted to pick up half of it on that play, took the nice safe throw, and now he's got an opportunity to pick up the first down or at least get in the field goal situation.
74 passing yards Pittsburgh tonight, 0 for the Irish. And that is the end of the first quarter. Downtown Pittsburgh. Well, I'll tell you, we got up early on Friday and there were snow showers. Didn't last long. It has cleared off, turned into a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Third down for Pitt. They need about 11 yards. Van Pelt throws it complete to his tight end Seaman as a flag comes down, and again it has been thrown by the umpire. And I think Zorich has caused another hold. That is the signal.
Right you are, Ron. Zorich just gets off the ball so fast. He reminds me of Michael Dean Perry, the defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. And look, they have to grab him. Dave Dixon, number 59, tries to shove him a little bit, but that's a hold. They only rushed 3 players that time and dropped very deep, and they still put pressure to force a hold. This guy just shoots out of a cannon, and he gets off the ball. He's just coming and coming every time. The unfortunate thing is it could knock him out of field position also.
Penalty is pushing the ball back to the 36-yard line. So now for Pitt, 3rd down all over again, and they still need the 15-yard line. As Boyer comes in at wide receiver, and also Junior Green, number 87. He's a freshman from Miami, Florida. Alex Van Pelt. Had a good visit with him yesterday in the Pittsburgh locker room. He was taking his football weekly test.
His test. All they do is send in the plays. He has to know and memorize the formations that Coach Hackett wants to get the play into. A lot of work to play quarterback.
Going to go long, and it is intercepted by Light in the end zone. Devon McDonald was pressuring Van Pelt.
Well, Light's going to get the interception on this pass as he throws it upstairs to Dickinson. He just puts it up there and hopes that Darnell can jump up and get the ball. But Light gets the interception, but credit it to Chris Zorich. 2 holding penalties on the drive, and he was in the backfield again. This time 2 guys on him, and he's working. The guy just never gets up. He's always running. They cut his legs, but when 2 guys block one, it opens it up for someone else.
Straight ahead with the running play, and Culver finds some tough sledding at right guard. Prentice Wright is the first man there to hit him, number 7. Todd Light, senior from Flint, Michigan, one of the real leaders of the defense for Notre Dame. It's his 2nd interception in the 1990 season.
He had a little hamstring injury that kept him out of a few big games, but he's back.
Tony Brooks gets the call this time. Crosses the 25 and up to around the 27. Gobb there defensively, and let's go down to the sideline again. Here's Jerry Punch.
Where is starting fullback Ronald Redmond? Well, unfortunately, he's standing beside me here, and the reason being is he is their 3rd leading receiver who got injured again last week against Louisville. That's 2 touchdown passes, and take a look, his left leg, he has a partially torn Achilles tendon here. He'll wear this brace for the next 2 weeks, and he will be unable to play for the rest of the year. Back upstairs.
As we mentioned, that is a big loss for Pitt offensively. Good cutback, and Brooks, who is going to have the first down plus about 5 yards, as Hetzler has to come up from his free safety position to make the tackle for Pitt.
Well, the Pitt defense is committing 8 people to stop the Notre Dame run. They're playing man-to-man coverage in the secondary. That time they even blitzed, and Notre Dame was still strong enough to pop it up in there and get the first down.
Good cut by Brooks as he took it back to the left. Myra this time rolls the pocket. It is tipped and almost caught. Ismail almost came up with a reception, and it was Harris who got a hand on the ball to make the tip. Irish leading 7-0. Clock is stopped with 12 minutes and 53 seconds. Paul Hackett behind him is his offensive line coach, Bill Myers. For 5 and 1 interception so far for Rick Meyer tonight. Again, they roll the pocket. Sets and going to go long this time for Ismail. Tipped and almost intercepted by Tinker Harris.
Rick Meyer's going to have a long night if he keeps trying to throw the ball deep to Ismail, because they are giving him a lot of coverage. The zone just slid so far as he tried to roll out to that side. That Pitt secondary is very aware of where he is, and all the safeties. Look, they've got 2 safeties inside the hash. You just can't throw the ball to that side of the field when they've got that type of coverage that deep.
Numbers are against you. Meyer sprints again to the left, throws it complete for the first down at the 48 to Sean Davis. Well, he got that one on the money for his first completion of the night.
A little crossing route right here. Instead of going up the sideline last time and keep going long, Davis puts the brakes on, a little comeback route, and Meyer puts it right on the sideline. Meyer on the run. One of the things I think he does best is throw out of the pocket. Gets his body ready to throw and throws it in the position where just his receivers can catch the ball.
3 straight times they roll the pocket to the left. Any particular reason?
I just think he likes to get him out of the pocket. He doesn't like to have a stationary target. Coach Holtz does not like to throw the ball right.
Tony Brooks on the carry, goes for a couple, maybe 3 across midfield. It's Craig Gobb, the leading tackler for this Pitt defense, is there to make the stop. Also Prentice Wright helping out. Sean Davis, who made the catch on the play before, is out of Tulsa. We mentioned that Tony Brooks, also from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Irish recruit all over the country, and very well.
Do they ever? You go through their program, they got them from all over.
Inside the 45 into the 44. Storyline of this one so far is the Irish on top by a count of 7-0. Kervin Richards out with an injury. Haven't seen him yet. Notre Dame touchdown came off a fumble recovery. They only had to go 16 yards. Pitt 85 yards in penalties here in the first half. And Ismail 2 rushes, no yards for Notre Dame. Right side has the first down at the 40-yard line. 46, Craig Gobb, the senior from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, was there to make the stop, but it'll move the chains across the way.
Mirko Jerkovic, number 74, is going to pull out and pop him here. Hands it off to the fullback, gets the key block, and that's what pops a running off tackle. When you can run off tackle, and actually at that time Pitt was blitzing, so they ran off tackle into a blitz and did it very well.
Smith and Ismail back at wide receiver. They're both out to the left. First man through, they give to Culver behind that big offensive front. Ryan and Help leading the way, and he's down to the 34.
Again, a little short trap. This time Ryan providing a little trap action, and they just pop it up in there. They're going to try to run the ball up the middle between the tackles because they feel they have a good matchup against Hicks, because Hicks is only a 215-pound player, so you're going to see a lot of that tonight.
10th play of the drive for the Fighting Irish. Culver on the pitch. Turns the corner, takes a head-high tackle from Hetzler, but he will have the first down. Now there's Ricky Waters. We talk about the recruiting of Notre Dame. You know, you look at all their backs, they carry a lot. Here's a guy who has been a starter. Last year got moved out of that position. Senior captain Tony Brooks starting in front of him, and Levens has already played tonight.
Right, Dorsey Levens came out of spring camp being the #1 tailback. So
Pitt wants a timeout with 9:51 left until halftime, so we'll take it with them. Irish 7-0. 9 minutes and 51 seconds left until halftime. Ron Franklin and Gary Danielson along with Dr. Jerry Punch here in Pittsburgh, PA. Notre Dame has rushed for 59 yards tonight. Brooks on the cutback, and he's going to score.
Boy, I tell you, way to see the hole here. When you are a good tailback, rushing the ball at any level, you can see the cutback and perform the cutback, and Brooks just does it brilliantly right there.
Hentrick, who was doing only place kicking tonight because of that injury on the first punt this evening, knocks it through, and he remains perfect. 24 of 24 this year. And Lou Holtz claps and almost a smile.
Watch how he gets the ball. He starts out to his right, but he reads it all the way back. Look at this. He's got leverage on him right here, but he cuts it back, and then Hetzler has a chance to get him, but he just inside cut of him, and boy, he is gone, and he just looks real pretty running to that end zone.
So he's into the end zone for his third touchdown of the Irish by 14. He blows me away. I knew he was on a receiving team, but not the kick cover. Ismail. This is Israel. Bobbles it at the 5. Oh, you can really hear the popping down on the field. At 26-yard line, he'll bring it back, and Greg Lane is there to make the stop. The student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And tonight's recipient, Notre Dame running back Ryan Mahalko. He is a psychology major with a 3.1 grade point average. Ryan Mahalko. Our congratulations to him. Kirvin Richards, we have just been told, is in the ball game for the first time tonight. 93 carries, 506 yards, 2 touchdowns. Using for the first time, and he is going to be dropped by Chris Zorich behind the line of scrimmage. Kirvin was out very early running tonight as they tested the ankle.
Well, I don't tell you, it doesn't matter if he's got sprinter's ankles. He is not going to get around Zorich tonight. They just cannot control this guy, and it's just proving to be havoc for their entire offense. They can put anybody back there. They can't block the middle guard. You know, they're going to try to down block him and trap him and double team him, and everything they've tried has been no contest so far. This guy's been just destroying the offense for Pitt.
Not a disruption, a destruction so far. Huh? Van Pelt swings it out of the backfield to Turner. Nice cut, takes it across the 30, and he's out to the 34. And you could hear the groan from the crowd as they thought that possibly there was a semi-late hit in the play. Bryant Young, a freshman from Chicago Heights, Illinois, there defensively.
I don't think it's any more fun than to watch a football player play at 100% effort. Watch Zorich. They're going to double team him. He sees the ball thrown, and watch him go downfield. He's not just going to rush the passer. He's going to get down there. Maybe there's a fumble. Maybe there's something happening downfield. The guy just likes to play football.
6'1", 266.
Started out as a linebacker, put his hand on the ground, and he became an All-American.
1 of 5 on third down conversions for the Panthers, and if they want to keep the drive alive, they need the 37. Van Pelt again, a very deep drop, swings it out, and DeVoe will have the first down as he gets out to the 39-yard line. Scott Kowakowski is out there defensively. You played with Scotty's father, didn't you?
Bob was his dad, played guard for me. Only got me sacked maybe once. Here's Zorich again. This time he's going to draw a block and back up into coverage. He's a nose tackle. Really, he's a linebacker with his hands down. He takes the pass away and makes him dump it off to the sideline, but they pick up the first down, a big first down for this Pitt football team.
11 of 17 with 1 interception for 88 yards so far for Alex Van Pelt.
The problem is they have not been able to run the ball, and that's going to catch up with you after a while.
Ricky Turner. Nope, they fake to him. Van Pelt still with the ball. Gets it away. Incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Dave Moore, downfield. Van Pelt is excellent at hiding the football. And now there is a flag thrown at where he was hit after the pass was delivered.
You would think it was roughing the passer, but the way the conversation is going here, I don't know if anybody's sure. Yes, Alex Van Pelt is a great faker.
There are 2 penalties. First one is clipping against the offense. The second one is personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Penalties offset. We'll play it over. First down.
Devon McDonald is the guy they call it on, number 45. There you see Van Pelt out of the pocket. He lets go of the ball. Oh, that was a little patty cake one right there. I don't know about that. Those are the ones you like to get roughed as the quarterback. You know, it didn't hurt, it didn't bother you, and you get 15 yards for it.
I'd love to hear Alex's opinion about that. That might be yours.
Hey, as hard as it was to move the ball against Notre Dame when I played against them, you'd take anything.
Alex's hometown is listed as San Antonio, but he grew up in West Virginia, then moved to Texas to play high school football. Pressure up the middle, pass thrown complete to DeVoe. He is wrestled out of bounds by the face mask. That's going to cause 15 more, and now a big mistake for the Irish, because that will be another first down for the Panthers. Anthony Peterson, I believe, and
15 yards.
yeah, but Anthony is going off the field, and look who's the first guy he's going to meet.
It was Anthony Peterson. He gets a chance to play, and he's so excited to be out there. He grabs anything he can, and when he rips back on it, that's going to be the major one, pulling him down. And, you know, when you do it in front of the opposing team's bench, you don't have a prayer of getting away with it.
You know the flag's going to be thrown. That's right. 14-0. The Irish on top with 7:17 to play until halftime. But now Pitt with their deepest penetration of the night as they are sitting at the Irish 40.
Van Pelt has been effective, Ron, I think. He's throwing the ball. They're keeping them off balance. The formations have been good. They just have to have a little bit of a running game to keep Notre Dame even more off balance.
Waited to the last moment, and Truitt dropped the football. And I mean, Van Pelt got sandwiched as McDonald was coming from one direction, Dahl from the other, and they really knocked him down hard.
Van Pelt does wait for the last second. He is gutsy back in the pocket. Nice fake on the bootleg. He's out there. He looks. He can feel that pressure, and he throws it, and he gets a rip. Now, Truitt gets ripped here, too, after he tries to catch the ball. Gets a little alligator arm. Sometimes he'll come back and say, you know, throw it to me a little early. He said, I got my own problems, Van Pelt says. I got my own problems, Van Pelt.
Durbin Richards back in the ball game at tailback for the Panthers. And Van Pelt is going to call a timeout. Big down for Pitt with a 2nd down and 10. And let's go down to the sideline. Here's Jerry Punch.
Time is better than nothing.
2nd and 10 for Pitt from the 40. Van Pelt zips it complete at the 23-yard line. Orlando Truitt, the sophomore from Birmingham. And there is a flag back at the 50-yard line. Could it be holding? Personal foul, roughing the passer against Notre Dame is the call.
Every place Paul Hackett has been, he's taught this ball faking maneuver. Watch Van Pelt. He's a master of it. He sticks the ball in, and then the ball fake by the halfback really helps the quarterback. Then watch Zoritz nail one here after the throw, but right on the numbers. He hits the X receiver. Now Zoritz comes in, and he hits Van Pelt right to the head with the push. That's a penalty, Chris. That is a penalty. He gets fired up to play. He's playing all out, but he's got to know when to stop. That's a big penalty attacked on the death flag.
Dickerson is back in the ballgame, and now the faithful for Pitt are standing and cheering. They've been a little quiet in the first half. It is 1st and 10. The ball just inside the Notre Dame 12. Richards fumbles the ball. Van Pelt makes the recovery, and now a flag has been thrown right there. Stonebreaker took his feet right out from under him. I wonder if that was a flag or he was marking the fumble.
Flag, it's just a beanbag for a fumble. 2nd down.
Gary Darnell, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame.
You push your ankle?
Mike Stonebreaker, left side of your screen, number 42, hits it on the run. He anticipates it, almost takes the handoff. That's about as scary as it gets for a quarterback. You're handing off on the draw on the linebackers right there.
Gary, you might have heard a little bit as the referee's mic was still open, and you heard him say, did you turn your ankle? The umpire is the man he was talking to, and he's exercising, I think it's his right ankle. Faking the pitch, ball in the flat, complete to Moore, the tight end, and he's inside the 15 to the 13. Greg Davis was there defensively.
so many things come off the play action pass for Pitt that they just have to be able to run the ball effectively. Even if it's not huge chunks of yardage, he is such a great faker, such a great ball handler that they have to have that little bit of running game to keep him going in this football game. Very tough yardage now, 3rd and 10 from the 12, 13-yard line. There's not a lot of plays you can dial here.
Hard to stretch the field when you get down this close.
Very tough.
Van Pelt drills it complete inside the 3-yard line, and again it's Dave Moore, the tight end.
Alex Van Pelt has a lot of touch on a lot of passes, but this one, he's going to zip in there. Watch, this is the hardest ball he's thrown all night. And when you throw near the goal line on those option plays, and that's what it was, the tight end Dave Moore found the hole and just pumped it in there. 4th and short.
4th down, a little bit less than a yard. The extra tight end is coming into the ball game, and Pitt will go for it.
Ron, I think Paul Hackett's telling his team right here he believes in them. He's told them all week we can beat these guys, we can attack, and now he's showing them.
10th play of the drive. Crowd will tell you. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 4. Van Pelt continued downfield and made it to the first down marker, but I think Kowalkowski is the man who forced him to step on the sideline. Wow, that one is close.
A little bootleg action on 4th and short. Up the middle, rolls out to the right. The tight end could not get open, and does he step out? Well, I can't see it. It's not just too close for me. Defensive coordinator Darnell, he's playing it. He's playing it from the sideline right there. He doesn't know if he stepped out or not. He's just hoping right there. The play was supposed to go to the tight end, but he never got out.
Brooks to the left side. Takes about 3. We were unsighted where obviously it happened, because up to the point of the replay, we didn't see him step out of bounds.
No, it was too close. It was covered by a couple of people there. It was a good call, but Lionel Sykes, number 88, got held up at the line of scrimmage and gave Van Pelt no option but to run the ball.
Ismail is out. Sean Davis comes in replacing him. Draw play. Brooks again. He will be submarined. Will not make it to the 10-yard line. Look at these miscues. 3 fumbles, lost 1 interception, 2 failed 4th downs, and 85 yards in penalties. And the point that you made just a while ago, as you look at Chris Zorich, is Pitt has played a good ball game, but you can't make those kind of errors against a team of this caliber.
Well, and Zorich has helped cause a lot of those. I wonder what he's talking about upstairs. You know, like, coach, let me do something else. I don't know what else you can do.
3rd down. Meyer from his own 1 goes long. Rocket is there, and he drops it. That would have been a tough catch, but it was in his hands at the Pitt 45. And Keith Hambleton was all over Meyer, forcing him to get rid of it.
Play action pass. He throws it to the middle of the field. Look at Rocket run and make up ground like a center fielder going up for the hit ball. He gets there, but he just isn't able to control his body. A ball he could have caught. Yes. Boy, he makes up a lot of ground when the ball's in the air.
Jim Sexton standing 5 yards deep in his own end zone. They're coming after him, and he gets it away. Not real long, but he did get it off. And now gets a big Notre Dame roll. Light will touch it dead at the 49. Paul Hackett, the first-year coach for the Pitt Panthers, pacing the sideline, wondering if there is some magic on that big sheet of paper that he has. Kirby Richards breaks it up the middle inside the 40. Kowalkowski makes the tackle, but that's going to be a gain of 10 plus 1. He'll have a first down Pitt.
I'm sure Curvin's happy to get in there and bust one up the middle, but I know who's happier than he is. Alex Van Pelt is happy to see somebody else produce a little offense besides him, because he's had it all on his shoulders all night. And of course, Paul Hackett has got to be happy because it just gives him more opportunities to draw something that'll work.
Clock runs with 3:35 remaining until halftime. Van Pelt throws complete. That's Siemens inside the 25 and down to the 20. Kolakowski again making the defensive stop.
You know, Paul Hackett told us yesterday that he would classify Van Pelt as a firm passer, not an overpowering arm. But when he has to gun it in there, he does a good job of getting it in there. Right then, he had to throw one to throw it with zip, and he put it right in. He's so calm in the pocket. He's just a great leader.
16 of 23, one intercept, 146 yards for him tonight. Herman Richards at the 10. That was Carter who bumped him out. Tom is a freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Same play that he picked up a few yards before. This time they run the pitch, and he pops it right through. What they actually did is caught Greg Lane, the corner, on a corner blitz, and popped it right in there by trapping it by the guard. They caught him in the defense they'd like to have on that pitch.
Second down, Pitt. They need about one. Herman Richards close to the first down at the 9. Zorich is right there, got him around the knees. First and goal, Pittsburgh.
I think Pitt has to be pretty excited about the way they've been able to move the ball so far tonight. They've made some mistakes, obviously, but they're in the football game, and they're very gaining confidence. If they put one on the scoreboard here, they're going to be tough to stop in the second half.
Turner's going to be the lone setback. They like to throw to him. Van Pelt, touchdown Moore. Catches, 32 yards, and now a touchdown for Moore. Kaplan, 17 of 17 on extra point attempts this year. Knocks it through, and we have a 7-point ball game with 2:34 left until halftime.
Notre Dame stays with their zone, even on the 9-yard line. Van Pelt's going to drop back, look at the zone, come strong side. His tight end is going to go out and curl back in, and he is wide open. You don't get him that wide open near the goal line. There you see it right there. He's very calm, puts it right on the numbers, and that's a walk-in touchdown for Moore.
You know who else had come open? Was Turner, who was just talking about. They had drifted him through the line, and so Pitt had a couple of opportunities on the play.
I think the Curvin getting in there and doing what he did, Curvin Richards provided the little opening in the zones that Alex just falls in love with. If they can run the ball, they're going to be very, very tough to stop because Alex is so calm in the pocket.
Well, they certainly go hand in hand. A lot of times people sitting at home don't necessarily understand that, but the running game goes well. Normally the passing game will be there for you.
Especially this passing game, because Alex is such a great ball faker and his backs do such a great job that you can keep those linebackers in Notre Dame involved in the run, and it opens those seams behind them. The only problem, Ron, after you score, you got to kick it back to the Rocket.
Here's the scoring drive. Dave Moore in the touchdown. 5 plays, 49 yards. 1 minute and 19 seconds is what they consume. There's the Rocket. Silvestri will kick it off for Pitt. They kick it on the ground. Will he get it? Yep. Brooks is going to carry it. Didn't lateral it back. And Brooks will take it to the 27-yard line. Notre Dame on those kind of kickoffs has been lateraling back to Ismail from time to time. But that time Brooks elected to return it himself. Well, ESPN's regular season coverage of the National Football League kicks off on Sunday, November the 11th, when the 4-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers will take on the Dallas Cowboys. Be sure to join Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann for all the action, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the 11th. Brooks turns the corner, has 3, 4, maybe 5. Derek Hicks, you could see number 67 flashing by. Out there to make the hit along with Charles Williams, a freshman from Philadelphia.
2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Lou Holtz, I think, is still going to stay calm. He's got a 14-7 lead. He wants consistency. If he gets it out to the 50-yard line, then he'll become a little bit more brave.
What was the thing that the Pitt staff kept talking about yesterday? You've got to be patient against Notre Dame.
Take your chances. Don't panic. Play all 60 minutes.
This time they roll the pocket to the right with Meyer. Drills it to Ismail, and he has it. Enough for the first down at the 40-yard line. Tinker Harris there to make the play defensively. Well, here's another sophomore that Alex Van Pelt, only in his second year. And now Meyer, a sophomore from Goshen, Indiana, who plays with a lot of poise. He'd like to see those numbers improve. 2 of 9 for 23. But also he does a great job of keeping us cool. Now it's no time for cool. It's get out of Dodge, as Keith Hamilton was the closest man to him. Also number 7, Prentice Wright, forcing him out of bounds. And that'll stop the clock with 1:17 to play in this half.
Myers, who has a couple of great comebacks to win a couple games early in the year, is very, very confident in himself. Doesn't have the big turnovers usually in this type of situation, and that helps the coach have confidence in him.
Griggs comes in along with Sean Davis, and Ismail will lead. Draw play to Culver. They're going to mark him down at the 45-yard line. Ricardo McDonald there defensively for Pitt. What about Paul? Do you think he's going to be satisfied to go in a 7-point game at halftime?
Well, unless he can get him in a punting situation where he can go after another block punt, I'm sure he will be. He's on an upbeat now. He goes in. He can talk to his kids. He said, without the turnover right in this game, we can play with Notre Dame.
Here come the Panthers on the blitz. Meyer delivers it, and it is knocked away. Number 5, Lewis Riddick, the senior from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, receiving congratulations from his teammates, and now the Panthers will get it back.
Little drag pattern to Derek Brown right here. He puts it right on him. Another drop to Brown. Of course, he had the big one against Stanford, but they could have pulled it out.
We talked so much about the Rocket and the special teams of Notre Dame. We mentioned how good Pitt is, and I'll tell you, Steve Israel is back deep. Keep an eye on him because he can put it in the end zone quickly as well. Sexton's kick. This is a good coverage kick. Israel, no fair catch on the run, and he falls down, trying to make a cut at the 20. Clock stops with 27 seconds left. What do you do, Gary? Do you take a chance? You put it up a couple of times, throw a safe pass, or...
I'll tell you, the first thing I do is tell him to fair catch it next time in this situation with 27 seconds to go.
There were a couple of white jerseys down there. You're right.
Well, he's anxious to play. I know that, getting back in there and getting healthy, but this is a situation where a turnover, you know, with 27 seconds to go in the game, if he doesn't get a great block there, he's looking at a possibility to turnover on this punt, and then he gets down. I think you'll see it a little conservative right here.
Quick handoff to Vo. Has 10 yards as he takes it to the 30. And unless they use a timeout, clock will stop momentarily for him to move the chains. Probably only about one more play. Well, coming up, it's the USF&G halftime report. Tim Brando and Lee Corso. Scores and highlights from around the nation today. Dickerson back in the ball game. Was big in the first quarter. DeVoe with a handoff. 10, 15, counted off. That's 17 yards in the play.
Call a timeout now. Call a timeout and throw one in the end zone. You got an opportunity.
17 yards in the play. 2 seconds showing on the clock.
Call a timeout. Throw one in the end zone.
They've got one left, and they do use it. So we'll take it with them. And for some reason, 1 second went off the clock. We'll be right back.
HBO.
14-7. We have 1 second left on the clock.
Two opportunities here, Ron. You either get it in the end zone with the long pass, the tip ball or something, or you get an interference call and have the opportunity for one more play to kick the field goal. Either way, it's going to be deep.
Van Pelt throwing off the back foot for all he's worth. Tipped by Kolakowski, I believe. Truitt, the intended receiver, and we are at halftime. So considering 85 yards in penalties and the turnovers in the first half for Pitt to be in this ball game, I think they are indeed fortunate.
What they did right here is split three people to the right, and he throws back to Truitt. Now, you tell me right here, it looked to me like it was interference. He threw it up, picks it to Alanda, and watch him get hit here before the ball comes. See, there's the opportunity for the field goal right there. That should have been a penalty.
There's a look at Kervin on the sideline. Paul Hackett's ball club trailing by 7. And I go back to that one expression, or that one word, of patience. And we'll see how patient that Pitt is in the second half, if they're allowed to be. They squib it again, Brooks. And he's going to lateral it back to Ismail. Rocket will take it to the 33-yard line. Well, halftime stats start off, if you will, with completions at attempts for Notre Dame. 2 of 10, 23 yards, rushing yardage 103. So that means that their first half stats 126 yards. And here, for a team that's averaging almost 400, that's not real good production.
Notre Dame came in with the idea of running the ball, but when any area drops down like this, the passing game 2 for 10, that just shows you have to have that balance.
Brooks breaks off one tackle, then Prentice Wright will finish him off at the 35, and it's going to be a gain of a couple. Derek Hicks actually took his feet out from under it. First downs, Pitt had 11, Notre Dame with 10. With the one lost fumble, also a turnover with an interception off Van Pelt. Really proved to be big. Pitt got a turnover, unable to do anything with it, and of course the penalty. The reverse to Ismail, and Wright is there to knock it down for a loss, and I'm not so sure that a flag shouldn't have been thrown because he was being clipped.
He was being pushed from behind, you're right, but Prentice Wright made a nice job. You know, number 90, Mark Gunn, also smelled it out, but, you know, Ishmael was just a little bit too quick for him, and Ismail gets by him right there. Mark Gunn try to make the play, but slows him up enough for Prentice Wright to come in. We didn't see the clip from behind. Ismail comes from behind. We're trying to get him the ball, but this time the Pitt defense is ready.
Third down. They need the 43. Screen. Ismail, hang on. 30 and pushed out of bounds by Israel at the 22-yard line.
Whoa.
And Steve is probably the only guy on the field that could run with it.
No doubt about it. It's a little bit of a trick screen. The guard is going to come out and try to block. It's a quick pass. He looks off. He throws. You see the lineman coming up, and he's coming underneath the lineman and catching the ball. But when he gets it in the open field, you're right, Israel's the only guy that had a shot at getting him right there, or the scoreboard changes.
He's an all stand-up player. When he touches it, they all stand up. Whether you're for him or against him. Brooks with a cutback. Boy, you could hear the leather pop in the headgears as he put his head down and takes it inside the 20. Gene McGuire with a very good block on the play. Gene's a junior out of Panama City. Had knee surgery, what, 3 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah, he just comes back. You know, they do it arthroscopically now, and it's just so much different. The time you can save and get back in there and play.
Jerome Bettis in at fullback. He's a freshman from Detroit. Flag comes down, and Brooks will be knocked down for a gain of 1. Gobb was the man holding on from where that one's thrown. It may be the Irish with an offensive holding call.
Holding, offense.
You know, that Pitt defense was so fired up at the end of the first half, but when you get the ball to the Rocket like that, Ismail's down the field, that just takes the breath out of you. The Rocket's a little winded, but believe me, that hurts on the defense just as much. You see a guy catch a 1-yard pass and go 49 yards with it.
Penalty pushes it back to the 28, and Ricky Waters, the senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, comes into the ball game, and so does Ismail. to 7. Notre Dame leads. Early going, third quarter. Myers tries to set up the screen, and Culver, probably a very wise move. He looked as though he kind of ran away from it. Well, he was going to be covered in Pittsburgh.
He really was. You know, the Pitt front seven is doing such a great job of putting some pressure on Meyer. They are attacking tonight. Meyer now 2 for 11. And they just keep coming, and they just keep coming, and put the pressure on him so he doesn't have time. It's an attack defense. You see number 7, Brennan Wright, come in there, put the pressure on Meyer.
Wade Briggs in the wide receiver. Blitz is coming, pass complete to Ismail, and he gets blasted by 14, Marcus Washington. And Marcus got up and gave him a little shove, kind of a chancy move.
This time Ismail comes off, goes about 6-7 yards, turns around, little hook pattern, nobody else is open. Meyer has to get it to him. Good tackle, wraps him up, had his arms spread out and then wrapped him. Didn't give him a chance to spin away from that one.
Kendrick to attempt the field goal, 39-yard attempt. He's 11 of 13 this year. And he's got it. Craig Hendrick opens the second half for the Irish with a 39-yard field goal, and they go back on top, this time by 10.
Say the one on top has all the power. Which could be why more truck owners switched to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The top standard horsepower and the top available horsepower, our 454 SS, help make Chevrolet America's favorite half-ton pickup. For power at the top, more people are winning with. The heartbeat of America, today's truck is Chevrolet.
Here we go! Whoa! Good dust, baby. Zombie blitz! How you like me now, baby? Got good life insurance? All 911!
I remember my first weekend away. I saved for half the summer, but hey, it was my money, and it still is. Thrifty. So to get away today, I rent from Thrifty. Thrifty. At Thrifty Car Rental, a Chrysler 5th Avenue safety equipped with an airbag is just $39.95 a day. Like my grandma always said, if you know where you're going, you better know how to get there.
Thrifty. Thrifty, because it's your money.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Notre Dame at Pittsburgh, is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. Because it's your money, call 1-800-FOR-CARS or your travel consultant. And by Levi's, 505 and 506 jeans. 17-7 with 11:45 left in the third period. Hentrick, who was shaken up back in the first half and is not punting tonight, kicks it on the ground, and this one is going to be lateraled back to Turner. He'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Well, a little bit more on the Rocket. You want to see how he can go long distance and do it in a hurry. These are touchdowns, running, passing, and returns in his career. Touchdown runs, 4 of them, an average of over 43. TD receptions, 4, an average of just over 50. And look at kickoff returns, 5. And that average, that's an average, 89 yards on the kickoff returns on touchdowns. Van Pelt zips it out, 2 calls for Turner.
One of the major headhunters on the kickoff return unit, number 53, Charles Williams. He's looking to get the wedge buster, and he put some hits on people in film, and he gets another one right there. He gets Devon McDonald, and look at that. I'm excited. You watch some film, he shows up in every one of them.
We watched special team video for about 30 minutes yesterday morning, and see him do that more than once.
You put a light on him all night, he's going to hit somebody.
Irvin Richards, 5, 10, still on his feet to the 43-yard line. Greg Davis finally grabbed a hold of it. Even less than 100%, he has great vision.
This time Jeff Christie, the right guard, gets even with Chris Zorich. And Zorich tries to play off the block. Christie gets him going the wrong way, and Curvin's by him. Curvin gets out to the secondary, and he's just not, he doesn't look like he's moving 100%, but he's got great balance, too, I'll tell you. What a life he's added to this offense.
He really has. Slid it to the outside and then cut it back in. They fake it to Turner. Pass complete, and a flag comes down, and I think a clip is going to be called on Sestilli, who did a comeback to protect his quarterback.
Clipping on the offense.
Bill Myers has just run up the sideline, and he is hot. I don't know if he is contending that the player turned his back on him or what.
Chris Sestilli, it was a play-action pass, and you're right, he wrapped around after he was uncovered, and he came back, and he actually cleaned up on the guy that was going to hit Van Pelt.
Here's Bill.
And he's upset because it happened in the backfield right there, and he just came down and hit him below the belt, and Bill's upset about it. They had a big play there, too.
Former Green Bay and Pittsburgh lineman. Eight penalties for 100 yards against Pitt tonight.
And that's even a bigger one because they had a completion on the play, and now they, instead of having the ball on the 45-yard line going in, they're back on their own 27.
Kevin Williams back at a tailback, gets the call. He'll have a couple. Kirvin Richards, I beg your pardon, it was Kirvin rather than Kevin Williams. Stonebreaker, you could see getting off the pile along with Bob Dahl. Kirvin now 7 carries for 27 yards. And Richards will come out of the ball game.
A second and more than 20. He's going to try to pick up half of it here. Something safe and get him in position to pick it up on 3rd down.
Van Pelt, lucky he did not have it picked off. Kowalkowski was the man standing in front of the football, and it went off his fingertips.
Scott baited him on that one. He knew he had the curl coming right from behind. He just made Van Pelt throw the ball and stepped in front of it. He had a pickoff right there, hit him right in the face.
Roll, hammer, 0, and I want a cushion. All right? I want a polo cushion also.
9 minutes and 57 seconds. You could hear Gary Darnell. Not that you understand, unless you're a Notre Dame player, everything he was saying. Draw play is going to be knocked down for a loss, George Williams. In the backfield, just as the handoff was made, he had the running back.
Trying to run a safe draw play and get a little bit of extra 5, 6, 7 yards so they can punt the ball from better field position and turn out losing yardage.
Greenfield, the nation's #1 punter, to kick to Ismail. And from this position on the field, I'm not sure they can kick it away from him.
Going to try to get that ball near the numbers.
No fair catch, and Ismail breaks by one, breaks by another, and is finally stopped at the 50. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, 3 months after John Woodruff completed his freshman year at Pittsburgh, he represented this country in the 1936 Berlin Olympic. That's him on the outside, making a move, the smooth kick. He won the 800-meter gold medal in the Berlin Olympics. And tonight, 54 years later, John Woodruff is back at his alma mater. And, John, you had a very special presentation tonight.
Yes, this is very special to me to be able to turn my gold medal over to the university that I won back in 1936.
John, it's great to have you tonight. I tell you, it had to be an awe-inspiring experience to be able to go to Berlin at the ripe age of 21 in front of 110,000 people and run in front of Adolf Hitler there in 1936.
It was a great experience. Of course, I was young and inexperienced as far as the running was concerned, because that was the my third year of running when I ran in the Olympic Games in 1936. But, however, it didn't bother me too much, even though I was a very young and inexperienced runner. I was only interested in going over there to win, and of course, I was able to do so.
And when he did, thank you very much, John. Back up to you, Ron.
Okay, Jerry, the sack way back at the 40-yard line as Keith Hamilton gets his second of the night. Ricardo McDonald was also there. And now for the Irish, it's going to be a third down. With the line of scrimmage at the 40, they have to go all the way to the Pitt 40. That punt a moment ago, by the way, was 50 yards and the return of 24. And, Gary, it's almost a thing about kicking your coverage, isn't it?
Well, he kicked the ball between the hashes. He's trying to keep it by the numbers, and that's puts the Rocket in open field. He's very tough to bring down.
Meyer steps up and drills it incomplete at the 35. Sean Davis is the man he was looking for. And a good hand for the Pitt defense as Notre Dame will have to kick it away.
Pitt dodges one again. You got to give credit to this Pitt defense tonight. They are putting pressure on Meyer, and he's just not standing up there and making the throws he needs to do so far.
Sexton 4 kicks for an average of 35 yards. As we mentioned, Hendrick was run into back in the first quarter, and he injured his thumb. Pressure up the middle, he gets it away. Boy, Pitt has come close. Hetzler with the fair catch, and the Panthers will have it at the 26, following a punt of 34 yards.
For most of us, the only thing that's more fun than staying home to watch the game is going out to watch the game.
Get with it. Come on down. Get with it. Come on.
So come on down, catch the game with Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry, and enjoy all the action on and off the field.
Have mercy. You got it now.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL looks after traveling 300 highway miles on just 10 gallons of gas. And this is how Honda Accord looks after the same challenge. Well, if it hadn't run out of gas 20 miles back, you'd see that it's smaller and it's blue. And next trip, Dad, it's yours. Who says you can't get great gas mileage in a roomy, comfortable car? Cutlass Supreme is one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of old.
The next time you experience headaches, backaches, nausea, and sleepless nights, there is one way to get relief fast. GMAC, We make financing and leasing your new GM vehicle painless.
Well, off the top of the telecast tonight, we talked about what a topsy-turvy year it has been with all of the upsets. Miami was the preseason #1. Then week #2, BYU upset the Hurricanes, and Notre Dame goes to the #1 spot in the nation. But then Stanford turns the Irish in week #6. That knocked out Notre Dame. Michigan took over the top spot, and what happened? The very next week, Michigan fell to Michigan State, so let's reshuffle it again. The Wolverines were out, and up moves Virginia to the #1 spot. Then last week, Notre Dame finished their series with Miami with a big win. It knocked the Canes out of the picture. Suddenly, Notre Dame back in the hunt. But that man told us yesterday that national championships he's not worried about right now. Hard to believe.
Well, he's got a tough schedule. Pitt here, he's got to go to Tennessee, Southern Cal, Penn State. Yet he's worried about game by game right now.
Van Pelt lobs it out to DeVoe. Nice move, but he takes it close to the first down out at the 36-yard line. Glenn is a junior from Cocoa, Florida. You remember so many times this year I've talked about how many players Merritt Island since Cocoa is right next door.
Here you see it again. Chris Zorich is going to go double coverage himself. So Stilly, Dixon's going to help out on him a little bit. And they give Van Pelt a little time to dump the ball off and second and very short.
Irvin Richards, and that is enough for the first down at the 40-yard line. And Zorich is shaken up, but is still down at the 40.
Wow, you hate to speculate, but Chris Zorich, I think it is Chris. Number 50, it looks like.
Yeah,
yes.
The way the number was stretched out there, I thought for a moment that it was 60 rather than 50 after I'd made the call, but it is Chris Zorich. And you see George Williams, his senior teammate who plays right next to him at defensive tackle, down on his knees, and he is asking his teammate.
We have a replay of it. It looks like his left ankle gets caught up in traffic right here. And he turns on it. It's actually his own body weight right there, and you can see him.
Tom Carter looked as though he stepped on him, didn't he?
I don't know if he caught it in the turf a little bit or Carter stepped on it, but you could see it just collapse. It wasn't anybody from Pitt.
Well, Lou Holtz did not even work his team out on artificial surface this week at Notre Dame, and he is not a big proponent. He likes the natural stuff. Now, whether that was caused by the artificial or not, it's really hard to say, particularly if his teammate did accidentally step on his foot. But he is leaving the field under his own power. You talk about the rest of the way, this game tonight, and then with the schedule they have to play, and they don't want to do it without number 50.
Right, they've got 2 more turf games coming up, Navy and then the Meadowlands, and then they're going to visit Tennessee.
Junior Bryant, a sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, has come in replacing Zorich. Van Pelt throws it complete. That's Dickerson. Makes the spin move. He's not going to have the first down. He'll miss it by 3 as Todd Light as they're holding on.
Darnell's getting more acclimated to that wide receiver position. 6 receptions tonight.
That's more than he had coming into the ball game.
And he's just growing into it. They say what they like about him is he attacks the ball. He goes for it. When it's up in the air, he feels like it's his ball. Looks like he's a little ginger as he goes out there. Hope he's blocking on this play.
He's a pretty good sized guy. 6'4", 200 pounds. Not like tackling a tiny wide receiver. Irvin Richards breaks it up the middle. That's enough for the first down, plus some. And let's go to Tim Brando for an update. Timmy.
We're going to take you to Tucson into Cactus Country, gentlemen. Watch Ronald Beal. Great ball fake here on the inside. And then the reverse to Michael Bates. All the way down to the Washington State 1-yard line. That would set up a Lamar Lovett touchdown run. They've since added a 15-yarder by Lovett. It is now 14-0 Cats. Let's get back to the Panthers and the Irish run.
17-7 our score. Richards again, cuts it back to the left, no hole to the right, and there you see the ankle, I think, just went again. He tried to make the cut, and he went down without really being hit, and yep, he's going to have to come out. Oh, that is a shame.
In a controlled situation, you can protect that ankle, but when you're playing football and you're trying to make cuts, it's instinctive what you do. He breaks into the open. Tom Carter's going to come up, and he wants to put the move on, and the body and the ankle just won't allow him. It's too bad. You know, you'd like to see these great kids play football, and he's just not 100%, and he's been a big part of their offense.
So Ricky Turner will come in replacing him. Little counter tray, and it's going to go nowhere. Turner going to be knocked down for a 2-yard loss, and Scott Kolakowski was there defensively.
Scotty plays it, steps up inside to it, and gets Turner before he can get started right there.
You know, back to the conversation, we're talking about Coach Holtz and all the changes in the national rankings. Parity is something he talked about yesterday.
And sure is.
Boy, do we ever have it.
You got to be ready to play in college football every week, or you're going to get beat. You just have to play your best football, or you're going to lose.
You think the day of the 11-0 and 12-0 teams are gone?
They're gone. Well, Nebraska might argue with that. There's a few teams still up there that can do it, but if you play the schedule that Notre Dame plays every year, I think it's very difficult to go undefeated. Their record is absolutely amazing against top 20 teams, bowl teams, and teams that have won 20 to 30 games over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, they just play tough schedule, and they're up to the task every week.
It was Bob Dahl leading outside as you get another look at Chris Zorich on the bench, who injured his ankle just a couple of moments ago. And there is the ankle of Kirvin Richards. Jerry Punch is waiting for an update on both, so we'll bring you up to date as soon as we can. 3rd down. Van Pelt drills it, intercepted, and that's Graham. Don Graham back out over the 30-yard line. The 2nd interception thrown by Van Pelt tonight.
Alex Van Pelt here has great protection. He stands in the pocket, and he falls in love with the crossing route right here. He waits, and he doesn't look up, and Grimm reads his eyes. It's a play he thinks he's got a completion on, and the backside linebacker, who he's not looking at, sneaks in there. Here's Dickerson. He thinks he's got him. He's going to throw it right off that linebacker, but the other linebacker, Grimm, comes in and gets it. And, of course, Grimm has some ties to Pittsburgh here also. Brother Russ.
That's right. Russ was a great lineman here and went on to play it for the Redskins. Meyer continues to roll the pocket, throws it complete to Ismail, and now a flag comes from deep downfield, and that's been thrown by the umpire.
Ineligible, downfield.
Well, Rick rolled the pocket for a very, very long way and then delivered the pass. And in that period of time, a lineman got downfield, so erased the completion, which would have been a 1st down.
When we watched film of Notre Dame Friday afternoon, you saw plenty of 2nd and shorts, 2nd and mediums, and 3rd and shorts. But tonight, Pitt has kept them in these situations with penalties, sacks, and causing little, mix-ups in the backfield that they've been facing these 1st and 15s, 1st and 20s too many times for this offense tonight.
New line of scrimmage, the 27-yard line, and they need to go out to the 42 for the 1st. Option play by Myers. Going to hold on. Cross the 35, and he is out to the 40, now the 41. Hetzler made the stop, and he almost got the 1st down on one play. It's a gain of 14.
There you see Meyer. Coach Holt says he's going to have to wear the flak jacket. He didn't want to wear it earlier in the year, and he says, nope, you're wearing it. You got to wear it in practice. You got to wear it in the games.
They'll bring in the change. I'm not sure from here. We don't have the best angle in the world, but not sure that he is going to have it, but it's going to be very close if he doesn't. About the length of the football. Now let's go down to the sideline and get a report from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, gentlemen, it was not Chris Norwich's ankle. Actually, it was the knee. He dislocated or subluxed the patella, the kneecap on the right knee to the outside. They have brought him in. Dr. Will Yardley, the team physician, is checking. They're put a brace on. They're not really sure he'll be able to go back in. He's trying to walk around now here on the Notre Dame sideline, see if he can loosen it up. But I think he'll play here in the second half.
Thanks, Jerry. That's about as complete a report as you can get. And that's going to be enough for the first down with Rodney Colbert, who we haven't seen a lot since early in the ball game.
He's been providing some big blocks. He had a great block on the option play just a minute ago, but they have not been able to run the ball effectively up the middle like they tried early in the game. Pitt is gambling up the middle to stop him, and that's why you see some of those big plays like when Rockets caught that short pass and was running free in the secondary.
3:05 left in the third period. Notre Dame by 10. If you don't think he's not strong, he only weighs 175, but at the end of the play, did you see him put his head and shoulders down and go into the defensive back, causing the collision?
When you run stunts, sometimes you're correct. Sometimes you run out of it. This time, Derek Hitz runs around the wrong way. Rocket reads it, cuts back. He's into the secondary. And you know, Rocket doesn't run like a receiver. Watch him lay one on right here.
Wow.
Accelerates right into Hetzler.
4 rushes, 3 yards, 3 receptions, 62, and 1 punt return for 24. Hetzler coming on the blitz, and Ismail. Whoa, does he get tagged on this play? And Pitt has a player shaken up.
I think that was Prentice Wright again. Yes, Prentice Wright, and he's talking over there on the sideline.
I'll tell you, Ricardo McDonald was shaken up, and he's going to come off the field. That was quite a blow that he was involved in. So it's second down, Notre Dame. They need 8. Coming to the closing moments of this third period. The Irish have tried to play it pretty close to the vest. Now Meyer wants to put it up, complete over the middle, and it's going to be short of the first down to Tony Smith, the junior from Gary, Indiana. Marcus Washington there to make the hit. Marcus did not start tonight, but has been a regular and also is the nickelback. He's a senior from Mobile, Alabama. Third down. The line to make just inside the 35 of Pitt. Little confusion on the option play, and he's not going to have it. He was looking for the dive back, and he never came through, did he?
It looked like it was one of those plays where he's reading the defense and has play called to both sides, and the fullback didn't hear him quite and went the wrong way. And, of course, all the confusion, he gets off stride, and they're not going to pick up the first down.
Notre Dame will go for it as they bring in an extra tight end. Irv Smith checks into the lineup. It is fourth down. And they need about 1.5 yards, almost 2. 5 of 7 on fourth downs this year. Spins off one tackler, fumble, Pitt's got it. Keith Hamilton on the recovery.
They pop the line right in here. They get penetration. Brooks has to bounce it outside. And when he tries to pick up the first down, the helmet goes right on the ball. Marcus Washington puts his helmet right on the football. And they come away with stopping him for the first down, and Keith Hamilton ends up with a football.
Planning. Where'd I get the capital to start this business with my daughter? By investing for the long haul. And forget full commission brokers. I called Charles Schwab. Munis, mutual funds, blue chips, and I saved plenty with Schwab's low commissions. Every day I tell my daughter, think long term. Make your own decisions. Be your own man.
We give you more ways to succeed.
Choices. Dad's conservative, and that's okay, but I'm after high return.
At Schwab, I can be aggressive.
I just bought some high-growth mutual funds and an undervalued stock I know will take off, all by computer and at Schwab's low commission. Dad says, plan ahead, get there first. Maybe that's why my name's on the door first.
We give you more ways to succeed.
Moving from state to state, Bubba Lichtenberg has seen homecomings at 4 different schools. I'm Dan Debenham. We'll have the story of this top college prospect this week on ESPN Scholastic Sports America.
The biggest prize in all of golf is the goal of the PGA Tour's top 30 players. The pressure is on in the final round of the $2 million Nabisco Championship. Sunday afternoon at 4 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Fred Von Appen, the defensive coordinator for Pitt, there with the headsets on, visiting with his defensive charges on the sideline. Gary, they've done a really good job.
Oh, they really have. Remember, this is a team that rushed for 276 yards last week against the second-ranked team in the NCAA, Miami, and they are standing toe-to-toe and surviving.
And Pelt's pass complete. Far sideline to Orlando Truitt. The big play man. 32 receptions for almost 600 yards coming into this ball game. And a player shaken up for Pitt.
It's Clint.
Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch for another update.
Checking on a couple players here on the Pitt sidelines. Kervin Richards limped off in the last series. The ankle's a little bit swollen and sore, but he will be able to get back in and play. Now, Ricardo McDonald behind me, the trainer's working on him. He has back spasms. They hope to get him back in. They're putting ice packs on his back, giving him some back massage. He should return very shortly. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Jerry. Down on the field is Glenn DeVoe, and they simply can't afford to lose any more running backs because the numbers are just dwindling, not to a precious few, to a precious none.
Especially, you know, they've already lost Redmond for the game.
And so DeVoe is actually behind him on the depth. And now...
And Richards, you know, you don't know if you'll be able to see him again tonight.
Kevin Williams plays behind Richards. He is a freshman. That's one of the reasons we've seen Ricky Turner so much this evening. And Turner had been used quite a bit at wide receiver. They had to bring him back into the backfield. So Lance Markle is the next guy on the list.
And he's a walk-on also.
Yeah. And Kervin Richards has gotten the ankle retaped, and he's coming out along with Markle. DeVoe tonight, 3 rushes, 27 yards, 2 receptions for 19. Second down and 1. Line of scrimmage, the 46. Richards hit in the backfield, and the lack of mobility, I don't know. I don't think he got it. Bob Dahl is the man who hit him first. Then Devon McDonald also came over to help out. Did not get it. It's going to be third down, just under 1. DeVoe is back in, so undoubtedly the injury was not quite as serious as it initially looked.
That's the end of the quarter. I think they're going to take their time, get back and regroup and make this first down after the fourth quarter.
So the clock goes to double zeros here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As we head to the final 15 minutes, it's the Irish of Notre Dame 17 and the Pitt Panthers 7.
The Volvo 240 has a reputation for surviving accidents, and we at Subaru have always been impressed by that. So we gave the Subaru Legacy wagon unibody construction, like the Volvo 240. But we also gave it full-time four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes, because the best way to survive an accident is not to get into one. You could get spectacular savings at the Subaru Blockbuster, now playing at a Subaru dealer near you.
At Compaq, before we build our desktop personal computers, we look at you. We look at what you do and the power and performance you need to get it done. Since introducing the world's first high-performance 386 PC, Compaq has never stopped, giving you more power, more speed, and the best of the latest technology. To do, well, that's up to you. Compaq. It simply works better.
This lady came in the other day. Some station downtown told her she needed new brakes and said it'd take 4 days. But you know, she only has the one car, and she had to get to work. I mean, missing one night of TV wasn't going to hurt me. So I told her, sure, I'd stay and get it done.
Good service is why people choose a place like Harlan Motors, and why places like Harlan Motors choose USF&G Insurance and their independent agents.
USF&G is standing behind me.
As a kid in business, I learned the meaning of a buck 1 penny at a time. Hey, it was my money, and it still is. So when I need wheels on business today, I go to Thrifty. At Thrifty Car Rental on Chrysler 5th Avenue, safety equipped with an airbag is just $39.95 a day. Who says you can't mix business with pleasure? It's the only way to go.
Thrifty, because it's your money.
HBO's hit football series First and 10 presents It's Your Choice. In this episode, while Bubba's enjoying some quiet quality time, he's caught by Earlene, his wife. Will Earlene A, show some understanding, B, suggest counseling, or C, beat him with a bullwhip? It's your choice. It's irreverent. It's irresponsible. Only HBO would dare run a series like this. If you said C, you made the right choice. First and 10, only on HBO.
College football Saturday. And we appreciate that up on the scoreboard. And, of course, Jerry Punch is along down on the sideline. Doing a great job of filling us in, particularly on some injuries here in the second half. Third and less than 1. Straight ahead. Nope, it's a play action. Great fake, and then the pass is misthrown. Dave Moore was open. Junior Bryant was pressuring Van Pelt.
They just didn't have anybody open to throw the ball to. Good job by Notre Dame. They played pass defense, and Bryant gets in his face. Van Pelt has to toss the ball away.
So it's fourth down, and with Pitt trailing by 10 points, we still have 14:55 to play in the ball game, and they're going for it. They're 0-2 at fourth down situations tonight.
Huge play, especially with all the injured people they have.
Well, they'll punt now. Gorjeski, I believe, is the man who went forward. Yep, it's Gary. So now they'll have to kick.
There he is. Gorjeski comes, misses the count. What you're trying to do is get the other team to jump off with the hard count in that situation.
So mistakes continue to plague Pitt tonight. That's 9 penalties, 105 yards. And you're looking at the nation's leader, Greenfield, in punting, and of course, Ismail.
Let's make a point of where he's trying to get this ball to land. At least outside the hashes, preferably near the numbers. The last one landed in the middle of the field, and the Rocket takes it for 24 yards. Placement is very important.
Left footer's kick, and this one is short, particularly for him. That one's going to come out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line. Wow. That's only 26 yards in the punt by Greenfield, the nation's leader, and that's not going to help him. Storyline, Herman Richards, 50 yards rushing, total 210 for Notre Dame. Total yards now. Pitt, 257. Pitt, the penalties, we gave you that just a moment ago. Ismail, 105 all-purpose yards. Back, Ismail cuts behind a block, and then Hamilton will nail him at the 40. And let's go to Tim Brando to get a further update.
For Ray Goff, a tough loss tonight. Kentucky wins 26-24, gentlemen, on a field goal by Doug Pelfrey, measuring 32 yards with only 7 seconds left. Consider this schedule. Georgia Tech, Florida, and Auburn remaining for Georgia. Would be awfully difficult for the Dogs not to go 4-7 this year, Rod.
Boy, and that is tough news to take down in that neck of the woods. Straight ahead with Rodney Culver, and he's going to have the Notre Dame first down, just shy of the 45. Mark Gunn is down at the bottom of that stack.
The tough situation for Pitt is they haven't gotten inside that 7-point mark again, where it puts a little pressure on Lou to do some other things rather than just be safe and run the ball up the middle. As long as he's in his comfort zone, he feels he can just pound on you, and of course that's Pitt's weakest point of their defense.
Little counter action again, and whoa, the Rocket gets sent backwards on that one. It's Hicks, Gobb, and also Gunn meeting him at the draw. Well, Pete Cordelli, the offensive coordinator or a part of the offensive committee, told you that's what they were going to do, didn't he?
They want to get the ball in the hands of the Rocket any way they can. They've had to put him at tailback to do it tonight. And he runs up in there like a running back, though. You got to have a lot of respect for a guy that can play wide receiver and then line up at tailback and run up the middle like that.
Well, the Michigan State coaches said that they thought they hated to see more at tailback than a wide receiver. Option, Meyer will hold on to it. He'll only pick up a couple. Now it's going to be 3rd down and about 7, maybe a little bit longer. That's Charles Williams defensively.
You're never going to see Lou Holtz give up on the option play. He loves the option play, but Meyer is not going to scare you or make you change your defense to stop him like Tony Rice did last year. They're going to make him keep the ball, turn up, and get these 3- or 4-yard games instead of the 8- 9-yard gains like Rice got last year.
Ricky Waters now in at tailback for the Irish. 4 of 12 in 3rd down situations today, going long and incomplete. Tony Smith is the man they were looking for. Some of the Notre Dame crowd wanting a flag to be thrown, but what had happened is Tony turned around a little too quickly, and as he looked back for the ball, got his feet tangled with that defensive back, Hetzler.
Play they've been running all night. They sprint out to the left, send 3 receivers out there, and Pitt has done a good job.
5 kicks for Sexton tonight, averaging 34 per boot. Pitt has had a chance 3 different times tonight, and they have not gotten one. Out of bounds on the near sideline. Tonight's attendance, 56,500. That is a sellout. So there's a timeout on the field. 12:32 left in the ball game.
Here's another demonstration of Chevy versus Ford. We're loading up these full-size pickups with recyclables. Chevy has a standard payload advantage of over 400 pounds.
That's a pile of payload the Ford leaves behind.
No wonder so many truck owners recycle their trucks for Chevys. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
It's feeding time for the beast in the basement again. And you know what that old furnace is going to do to your utility bills. Isn't this the year you should find out about the savings Tempstar's high efficiency can bring? Replace that thing in the basement with a high-efficiency Tempstar furnace. Start the savings, not the beast. So much to do and so little time. When it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in the dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to put you and GM quality on the road faster. So you'll have time for more important things.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Notre Dame at Pittsburgh, is brought to you by Tempstar Furnaces. You can rely on the Star. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Well, a gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh. Clear skies, rather crisp. It's going down to the low 40s or upper 30s. And it's been a fun weekend because of the celebration. 100 years of collegiate football here at Pitt. Van Pelt has time, then it breaks down. This is Irvin Richards. Whoa, does he take a shot at the 28-yard line? It's going to be close to the first down. It's Devon McDonald who is back in the ball game. Gary, this is an awfully big drive for Pitt. down by 10 with just over 12 to play.
Right, it's not critical. You know, you look at the clock, 12 minutes to go, you still say you have plenty of time, but the Pitt defense has been keeping them in the game, and now they got to put a little bit of pressure on Notre Dame's offense by putting some points on the board and get Lou out of his comfort zone. What I'd like to see Van Pelt do is just what he did right then. That zone drop by Notre Dame is very deep. Be patient with it. Take those 4- and 5-yard throws, move the chains, and try to get a few first downs and try to get Notre Dame into a little bit of a blitzing situation to hit the big one.
First down for Pitt. Alex taking the opportunity to come over and talk with Paul Hackett on the sideline.
You know, with Zorich out of there, they could free up another guy to block and single up, so he should have time to throw the ball.
Some subs in the ball game for Notre Dame. Brian Young is in for George Williams. Junior Bryant for Zorich. Eric Jones is in the ball game for Bob Dahl. And DeVos has replaced Don Grimm at linebacker. Irvin Richards to the left side. Takes it for a couple. Paul Hackett is not pleased with a 3-3-1 record, but on the other hand, in extremely good spirits. He said he's having fun. And he thinks his ball club is as they turn the corner also.
Of course, he doesn't have a senior on the offense. These guys are going to be together for a couple more years. He feels that there's going to be a lot of progress made, and if they can play with Notre Dame tonight, it could happen faster than he thought.
Deep drop again off the play action. Has to throw it short, and has Seaman is tied in across the 40. That's good for the Pitt first down. McDonald defensively again.
This is a play-action pass that Alex could take advantage of all night. The secondary drops of Notre Dame is very deep. The linebackers get back on the crossing routes. Just be very patient. Don't try to force it into the crossing routes. Just take the one underneath and pick up the first downs. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a gun of an arm. Just be patient and make them move up and take away those short drop passes.
11 minutes left to play in the game. Irish by 10. Van Pelt waits, delivers. Orlando Truitt again had the ball in his hands. That's a couple of times tonight. That might have been a little behind him, but he had a shot at it.
Right, well, Alex is very upset with themselves. He had a possibility of picking up one of those 15, 18-yard crossing routes. Truitt is wide open here against the deep zone. He turns in, and the ball you'll see is behind him, and that's a very difficult catch. All your momentum is going one way, and you've got to turn and make the catch. Watch, he is going to be upset because he knows you work real hard to get that crossing route, and then you don't make the great throw.
22 of 35, 2 interceptions, 197 yards for Van Pelt tonight. Has it complete to Dickerson. Another Pitt first down as they move into Notre Dame territory, and Todd Light is the man he was working on.
Very, very nice. When the receivers love this. When you throw that slant pattern low where they catch the ball and slide down and don't take a helmet in the mouth, they come back and say, nice throw, guy. Way to put it down there low so I can slide right after. Perfect throw as Darnell gets inside Todd Light for the first down.
Lou Holtz a bit concerned, as you might imagine. Coming up after the ball game, Sports Center, Tom Meese and Bill Patrick. They'll update you not only on college football, but the big golf tournament going on down in Houston at Champions Golf Course and everything else in the world of sports. That one is complete to Richardson again. Backtracks for a couple of steps, and Dickerson, I should say, takes it to the 31-yard line. Greg Lane was holding on.
Well, Dickerson is going to love playing wide receiver if he gets throws like this all the time. This one was stuck in between the zone, a very difficult throw. And Van Pelt is as cool a customer as I've seen for a sophomore in college football. I mean, he really hangs in there and just throws them. You know, he's a leader of a football team as a sophomore.
7 catches now for Dickerson. And 5 catches coming into tonight's ball game. And the comment where we asked the coaches, this is growing into the position. I think you can see why. Blitz up the middle. Play action, gets rid of it in a hurry. Oh my goodness. What a stick by Greg Davis. And that's one of those you're vulnerable.
Just listen to this hit. You don't have to have any expert analysis on this one to feel this hit, no matter where you're sitting at home. We didn't get a shot of DeVoe popping up and running back to the huddle, though, as he comes back and says, I can take it. I can get back there. I can do it again.
Strong safeties are a little bigger, though. As Greg weighs 205 pounds, 6'1". Williams, little stutter step, takes it down to the 26-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd down Pitt. Now, here is a major one.
Well, that's about the first play call on this drive that surprised me a little bit. I thought he'd drop back again and dump it off to somebody for 4 or 5 yards because Notre Dame has given it to him, and now they got that in between 3rd and 5 and 6. It's very tough on a quarterback. Notre Dame will not be able to drop real deep in those deep zones in this instance. Let's see if they block up a little man-to-man.
The pocket this time. Here comes the pressure, and he will be sacked at the 33-yard line. Bob Dahl. George Williams is the man who flushed him, and that was on a rolling pocket.
Worst thing about this sack, Ron, is it takes him out of field goal position. Notre Dame this time moved the zone up a few steps. They locked down those short routes. Alex had nobody to throw. Throw it away. Throw it away, Alex. Get it out of your hands. Don't take the sack in that situation. You know, they forced him into a position where it's almost even hard, you know, to punt from here. They're going to have to almost go for it on 4th down.
Van Pelt comes to the sideline calling a timeout, so we'll get a decision with 4th down coming up.
Before they could walk, they wanted to dance. Before they could talk, they wanted to sing. But they needed a lot of heart and desire before they could get to Broadway and make it on a chorus line. Now this Broadway legend is back and on tour. But if you want tickets, get to the box office early and get out your Visa card. Because this show won't be in town long, and it won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
It's feeding time for the beast in the basement again, and you know what that old furnace is going to do to your utility bills, but you don't have to let that monster upset your budget. Send for Tempstar's Home Comfort Guide. It's free consumer information about the savings you can obtain with a high-efficiency furnace. The Comfort Guide informs you so that you can make the right choice when the time comes to replace old equipment. Before you start that beast in your basement, start something that could save you money every month. The information is free, and so is the call.
Buying a new car is a big step. With many car makers, the minute you drive it out the door, you may feel like you're on your own. But at Oldsmobile, you're covered by the Oldsmobile Edge, the most comprehensive owner satisfaction program in the industry. It's standard on every new Oldsmobile. We're with you every step of the way.
It's a new generation of old.
Well, welcome back to Pitt Stadium. Just moments ago, Kerwin Richards was sitting on the bench behind me with this big ice pack on his ankle. He said it's experienced beginning to swell. He's having a lot of difficulty cutting right and left. So I'm not sure he'll be back in the game very soon. A big down now for Pittsburgh. 4th and 12. Ron?
Thanks, Jerry. And looking on the field, now Stark has come into the lineup, and Van Pelt is leaving. In a couple of games this year, Stark has come in, and he has pooch kicked. They have used him either to try to get the other team to jump offside. Wouldn't do any good here with a 4th down and 12. Let's see if Notre Dame is aware of the fact. Nope, he has now come off the field. Number 12 just trotted off. They need the 21. It complete to his tight end Seaman, and he will miss the first down by 2 yards.
And Notre Dame did the job. They sat back in the zone and made Alex go away from his primary receiver and go back to his secondary. He was trying to get the ball to Darnell Dickinson. He comes off on a deep crossing route, and Darnell thought Dickinson was open here. Darnell thought he could have got the ball, and he said, I could have thrown it in that hole, but Alex had to give up on him a little bit early.
That ties his career high, though. That's his 26th completion tonight. That equals his mark last year against West Virginia, a ball game that they came from behind and tied with no time left. He smiled, and he's gone. Just watch this young fella gamble. 76 yards. One play ago, Pitt sitting in the situation to pick up a first down to possibly cut this to a 3-point game, and just like that, the Rocket has made it 23-7 Notre Dame.
That's all you. That's all you.
Hendrick with the extra point, and he's perfect. And a flag has been thrown deep downfield.
The player on defense, in an attempt to block the kick, used his own man as leverage to jump up. It's unsportsmanlike conduct, 15-yard penalty that will be assessed on the kickoff. The point is good.
Left guard Ryan, number 52 in white, is going to get the key block to spring him. He gets Gobb, the linebacker, and watch Rocket jump through the hole, and he's gone. You want to understand, Pitt has been stopping the run by gambling, and when you break into the secondary, no one can catch this guy. He flashed by him. Again, the left guard is going to wrap around, fill in on the linebacker. He's going to get Gobb, and he cuts inside of it. He jumps through the hole, and Rocket's gone. In an eyelash, he lets the air out of this stadium fast. Boy, this guy can run. He's cruising.
Well, this is 76 yards, and back a bit ago we showed you the graphic of the distances that he's gone from. Let's just break it down. 80 plus 5 touchdowns, 70 to 79 1, 60 to 69 a couple, 50 to 59 4. Man is amazing.
You know, he can do so many things to hurt you. When you put him at tailback, there's no double teaming him from back there. He's going to get the ball.
And the minute he broke through the linebackers, you knew that the secondary, there was no way.
Well, they're playing man coverage, they're gambling, and that's what happens to stop him. Tim Ryan had a great block on the play. You know, they get a lot of isolations on Rocket and everything, but when you can spring a guy like that, that makes you feel good. You sleep good. You go home and tell Mom, I broke the Rocket.
Hendrick will kick it off for the Irish, 24-7 with 7:38 left. And that one goes 10 yards out of the back of the end zone. And let's go to Tim Brando. What's your update there, Timmy?
The Wyoming Cowboys once trailing 10-9, Ron. Watch Tom Karantzis. He'll hand off here to Jay Dapper for the touchdown. They get a 2-point conversion. And the same week that Paul Roach turned 63, perhaps a happy birthday present with his 9th victory of the year. They're the first team to have 9 straight in 1990. Let's go back to Ron Gary and their very own punch doctor on the sideline.
Well, Wyoming playing from behind. El Paso could be a tough place to play, but now on top by 7. Van Pelt rears, goes long, and what a catch by Truitt at the 46-yard line. 26 yards of the pass play to Orlando Truitt.
All 4 receivers go up the hash marks. They spread the defense. Van Pelt just fires it on the string, and Truitt goes up and gets it. That's one of those where you look off the free safety one way and turn and fire it the other way. It's gamble time now. They got to hurry and score.
Greg Davis had made the hit on him. Blitz coming up the middle, draw play, and they'll stuff it. Williams is the first man who got there to him.
It was like they were in their huddle that time. That was a play that it's one of those ones where you dial again. When you call a play like a draw and they run the blitz right up the middle, it's not going to go.
Rushing 92 yards, receiving 62, return yardage 34. And I hope you got to see game day this morning with Chris Fowler and Lee Corso. They had a really nice feature on this young man. He is very quiet and unassuming, and in fact, they had a shot of him on the equipment truck riding to the locker room to get away from reporters. He said he's not that wild about the limelight. Pass complete to Seaman. Crosses midfield, and on a good second effort will take it for the first down. It's Don Graham who was holding on for dear life.
Wonder why Pitt isn't up there running the 2-minute drill right now. They need more than 2 touchdowns to get into this game. 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie it, and they're taking their time in the huddle. I'd like to see them get up there, hurry up, let's go. We got to get some points.
Sports Center coming up next, Tom Mees and Bill Patrick. It's immediately following the ball game. He's going to hold on to it. 35, and wisely runs out of bounds. He stepped right on the marker, which is the first down line, but of course a change on the other side of the field. Kowakowski and Dahl in pursuit.
We're going to have to measure it. Nice job of evading at that time. They came with the corner blitz. They ran a deep zone behind it. He felt it. He got out of the pocket and picked up positive yards.
You know, in the 2 interceptions that he's thrown tonight, and that's 10 in the year, which is he's not like he was still a youngster, but you have to wonder with all the injuries and everything if maybe he even has tried to do a little too much, Gary.
Oh, I think there's no question about that. But, you know, I think you got to like that if you're a coach. You'd rather have a quarterback that tries to do a little bit too much. You can coach him. You can make him do the right things. But you'd rather have that than a guy that just dumps the ball off. You know, 28 completions tonight, a career high. Not the type of yards he'd like to have with 41 attempts, but he's had to do it all himself. Kervin's given him a little help, but it hasn't been enough. You know, that big sack, I know he's more upset about that sack than those 2 interceptions, because that one really took him out of field goal range, where that could have been to turnaround right there, and the one play by Rocket, I mean, that changed the game.
Well, I mentioned the fact that Alex has gone over his, or tied, and now is over his career best in the game we had on last year, that great one down in West Virginia. He has 28 completions tonight. John Conjemic, 1984, holds the record at 31, so he stands a chance to put his name in the record books tonight with 3 more completions to tie, 4 to break. There's one of them to Moore, the tight end, inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Pitt. Gary, you got to like this, to come right back after the devastation of the 76-yard run and take it right down the field.
Right here, Notre Dame's playing it safe. They're going to give him the underneath. When Truitt clears, the corner runs off. He's not going to give the big play. It throws to the tight end on the sideline. Little play action fake. He faked the pitch. The tight end's out there on the sideline. Throws it right in between the zones. I like the drive. I just don't like, they're not in enough of a hurry for me. I think they got to have a little more sense of urgency.
5:50 remaining in the ball game. Notre Dame 24-7. Pass complete to the 1-yard line. Ricky Turner, who we've talked about a lot tonight, they've used as wide receiver and also running back, catches it very well. Almost got into the end zone. They're going to mark it down about 36 inches away. Gary Darnell continuing to send in those signals. Over the top, the ball. So the faithful of Pitt getting a chance to celebrate here on their 13th point. Kaplan will try to make it 14. And they're going to go with a 2-point try, a trick play, and they'll throw it back. And it is caught by Scott Kaplan, the kicker. Left the formation in the swinging gate posture.
Let's look at the touchdown first. What they're going to do, they're going to follow the tight end, then Lance Markle, the fullback, and then comes Devereaux over the top, climbs right into the end zone. One more look at the touchdown. Markle comes in, he dives, he scores, and then you just jump, and the momentum gets right into the end zone.
And for DeVoe, that's his 6th touchdown of the year, 24-15.
Presenting a new ESPN home video that can only be described in one way.
That is unbelievable! Unbelievable!
It's ESPN's Unbelievable Sports Plays, hosted by Chris Berman.
Why? Why?
A collection of some of the wildest plays ever seen. To order your copy for only $19.95, call 1-800-225-3300.
When I grow up, I want to be a track star.
No one ever says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
But I want to be a ballerina.
Yet thousands of kids let getting high make a mess of their lives.
I want to be a nurse.
Don't let drugs get in the way of your dreams.
Sunday night, get ready for some living on the edge. See exotic sports from around the world that'll get your attention like a kick in the head on Amazing Games. Experience exciting Hollywood, where the stars take the fame and the stuntmen take the fall. Soar with acrobatic athletes who have the moves of magic and fly higher than Air Jordan. The Bud Light Daredevils. Amazing, exciting, acrobatic, living on the edge. Sunday night on ESPN.
Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch back in Pittsburgh, 24-15 with 5:15 left in the ball game. And Gary, I think we can look for the onside kick. And if it does happen, we need to mention again the rule change in 1990, and that is the offensive team cannot hit anybody until the ball has gone 10 yards. And you may ask why? Because teams were beginning to squib it along slowly. The offense would come down and knock the receiving team away, denying them an opportunity to get to the football. So that's the reason the rules committee put it in. So anyway, we'll keep an eye and we'll see if they attempt it.
Coach Holtz has got his countering team. He's got his hands team out there right now. All the guys can go out there and handle the ball. They're expecting the onside kick. They're trying to force Pitt into kicking it long by putting their guys out there, showing they're ready for it.
9 men between the 45 and the 45 for Notre Dame.
I think they got onside kick, though. They just don't have enough time.
No, I think you're right. Oh, if they recovered it, we'd have an interesting situation here, wouldn't we?
Just makes Rockets' touchdown so much bigger than just the time before.
You know, the game that I was talking about, that Alex threw his career best, they came from absolutely nowhere and came back and tied West Virginia. All right, they're now lined up. I think we all know that it's going to go to the left side of the field. Bang, and Notre Dame makes the recovery. Looks like Brooks got it at the 47. Yep, Tony Brooks, the tailback, one of the hands team, as Gary called them, out there to make the recovery. Well, that's the chance you take, and this time the gamble didn't work. In fact, it wasn't close. He got it on a good short hop.
Right, he needed one more bounce, and then maybe something could have happened, but it just was real nice and soft, and Brooks just wrapped it up.
Ismail is back at tailback. Gets the handoff, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't take him very long to get through there. That's going to be a gain of 8 yards. Down to the Pitt 40-yard line. We're about to go into 5 minutes to play in this one. First half, 7 yards, but in the second half, 93 yards, a touchdown. That one covered 76. Straight ahead with the fullback, and Culver will take it for the first down to the 35-yard line.
You know what's amazing for a receiver? That's the 17th time in the last 20 games that the Rocket has gone for over 100 yards carrying the ball in one way or another. I mean, all-purpose yards. He is just so much of a weapon. You know, but he has the look of a running back when he lines up at tailback. You see a lot of these receivers, they get back there, they want to dance around. He just pops it up through that hole and just has the makings of a running back.
He does it so quickly. The shoulders are squared, and poof, he's gone. an effortless runner. Adrian Gerald in the ball game at wide receiver number 10, down off the bottom of the screen. There he goes, and he ran into the umpire. Credit Pitt with an extra man on that play if he ran right into the umpire on that play. The umpire is the guy that faces the offense, standing right behind the linebackers, and he's the one that looks for the offensive holding. And Carl Crawley, give him an assist.
I'm going to take a look at this replay in actual time. Watch how fast he hits this hole. He's into the secondary and an eyelash. And
bam! Carl, get out of the way. And the Notre Dame fans booed the official.
That was into the end zone. He doesn't run into
it was. Yeah, he's gone. 10 carries, 116 yards for him. Culver almost got another one. Bobby Boykin is the man who knocked him off his feet at the 1.5-yard line.
Well, with Auburn just squeaking out that win today, you wonder if Notre Dame's going to catapult past them into the number 2 spot in the standings.
Hard to say the way the voting has gone this year, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't figure it out a lot of times myself. You know, I'm just trying to. Hey, Notre Dame is going to try to play for that national championship one way or another, and Auburn's got that big game next week in Florida that we're going to get to take on.
Yep, Jerry and I will be in Gainesville next Saturday. Culver, not there. Charles Williams defensively for Pitt. Clock is running now with 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
I don't think Notre Dame played their best game tonight. Meyer obviously had an off night tonight, but they still managed to get a big win here in Pitt in a very hostile situation. And now they got a couple big ones afterward.
Meyer will take it over, and there's a flag.
Starts on the defense. Touchdown's good.
So Meyer with the touchdown, and Notre Dame goes in front by a count of 30-15 with 2:46 left to play.
For the second game in a row, Ron, this fourth quarter rushing, Notre Dame has a way of wearing you down, but this last game against Miami, they ran for 73 yards in the fourth quarter, and this week, in the fourth quarter, they got 102 yards rushing.
Now the stairs of the Pitt bench getting kind of long now as they are out of time and out of luck in this one with 2 minutes 46 seconds left to play. Hendrick tries to keep his string alive. Next week it's Navy for Notre Dame, and then they head down to Knoxville, Tennessee. Kick is up and he's good. Well, Lou Holtz, one of the things that he has done at Notre Dame is not only bring national attention, but also respect. And I think this locker room scene will give you a better idea of why.
Thing to do isn't to punch them, isn't to talk to them. There's only one way you get respect, and that's by looking somebody in the eye for 60 minutes. Go out there, hitch up your trousers, and say, hey, baby, here I am now. Let me see you run through me now. Let me see you show some disrespect for me when I'm nose on your nose. Let me see what you think of me now that my face is to you. We talk about respect. We're talking about respect around the country. There's one thing that we want more than anything else, and that's respect. Let's go.
Well, it's very big with that man right there, and we'll show you something that points up what we're talking about. The 5 years before Lou got there, 30-26-1. In the 5 years with Lou Holtz, 42 wins and 12 losses. But Gary, the amazing thing is in big ball games what his record is. He has not lost a great deal of big ball games against top 10 members.
You look at it, I mean, you have to respect. I mean, they really take on all comers at Notre Dame, and they win, and they win, and they know that every time they line up, everybody's going to be fired up. It's going to be a standing room crowd, and it's going to be a tough, emotional game.
Hendrick's kick. This one's going to be returnable. Steve Israel from the 3. This is what they've done against teams with 20-plus wins over the last 3 seasons.
You're looking at some top teams right there and strong programs. The only loss that Miami lost down in the Orange Bowl, where they've had a tough time winning Notre Dame, the only place. But look at that. That's just an amazing stat. Of all the things I've seen, the graphics this year, that one's right at the top of my list for being able to do things. Chris Zorich.
Injured his kneecap, as Dr. Jerry Punch explained. You see the ice pack on it. At halftime, Notre Dame had 126 total yards. And right now, they are at 354. Van Pelt sets the screen, and he's got it. DeVoe out to the 45-yard line. Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Gary and I will be selecting the Visa Player of the Game from each team. Shouldn't be too tough for one team, for sure.
It might be a little tougher for Notre Dame. You know, Zorich had such a great first half, but the Rockets kind of took everything you've been waiting for. He did. He gets it done in just a couple plays.
Moore tackled by Kolakowski.
Now they're going no huddle.
With 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. Darnell Dickerson just getting back to the line of scrimmage, and he's still looking for the play from his teammate. He got it. Pass thrown complete to Truitt, and tackled immediately by Todd Light, and I'm not sure he got it because I think he was supposed to continue to drive to keep that other defensive player out of there.
2 things they tried to accomplish there: get a first down or get out of bounds, and they didn't do either.
That's 11 passes in a row for Van Pelt. Make it 12. Down to the 35-yard line as he throws right over the middle to Moore again. Stonebreaker is there to make the tackle.
You know, this is the situation on the last 2 drives. Everybody's saying, well, why didn't you do this all game, throw like this? Well, Notre Dame's in a soft zone right now. They're letting them have those short passes, playing the clock, and understanding there's just not enough time to come back, barring a big turnover, and they get it the other way.
Van Pelt. You can see Graham trying to hurdle the blocker, and it's complete to Moore at the 13-yard line. In the grasp of Carter, I beg your pardon, Tom Carter. That'll move the chains again. Well, Alex Van Pelt is now in the Pittsburgh record book for the most completions in a ball game by a quarterback. Moore now 6 catches for 79 yards. Dumps that one out. DeVoe at the 8 and fights his way to the 7. Don Grimm battling with him. Under a minute to play. Coming up next, Tom Nees and Bill Patrick with Sports Center. Greg Davis tipped that pass in the end zone.
Tried to hit a little slant pass in there and stick it in there for a touchdown, and Davis reacted very well to it.
Now for tonight's Visa Players of the Game from Notre Dame, the Rocket Man, Mr. Ismail, and from Pittsburgh, Alex Van Pelt. And as part of their continuing effort to further